What's up, guys? It's Anthony from Wicked After Dark here to talk about our 100th episode, man. Insane. Insane. 100 is come. Um, so I'm going to be answering a few questions for you guys today leading up into the pod. So I hope you guys enjoy this little segment.
All right, here we go. We're going to get right into it. For question one is, how do you feel about making it to 100 episodes?
Insane, really. I think that's going to be the word for today to use is insane, because I never thought, that we would get to this point of the podcast. I mean, when you think about it, we've been doing it already for a few years, but 100, right?
3 years.
We should have realistically gotten there already, but when you're only shooting once a week and mixing in everything. But honestly speaking, yeah, I could have never imagined that we'd make it to 100. It's a great feeling, you know what I mean? The support system, our followers, our listeners, to continue to drive this little show that we do here, so it's a great feeling, and I hope to bring another 100 in the near future here.
And just to follow up, this is not one of the questions, but this is just for you, your question.
All right.
Do you feel responsible for this?
Responsible in a way, I guess.
Because it was your idea.
Yeah,
to start a podcast and to drag everybody along as far as like, hey guys, let's start a podcast,
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I guess in a way, you know what I mean? A little responsibility I'll take for that. It was definitely something that I just had gotten into listening to podcasts, and I know that, there's a lot of people out there that don't know what we do. When you talk to them about Halloween, you're like, what do you mean? Halloween's once a year. But there's a big group of us that, big,
Yeah.
and that's when I was like, you know what? Let's put it out there. Let's talk about it. And to convince the girls and you, it took a little bit of convincing, you know what I mean? Obviously, with everything, there's upfront cost that I actually ended up doing myself because I really wanted to try it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, we can definitely dissect that a lot further.
More in the pod, but
you know what I mean? When we get into it. But yeah, I can definitely dissect that because, again, it went from I've never even been in front of a camera. I'm never on social media.
Don't like taking pictures.
I don't like taking pictures. You know what I mean? So to do it now, doing this and hosting our own podcast every week, so it's definitely
different.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Number 2. What was your biggest fear in beginning a podcast?
My biggest fear, man, your biggest fear is feeling rejected. You know what I mean? You don't know, you think you're putting out the best product possible. But once you put it out to the internet to really dig into it, that's when you really know really quickly if, people are going to accept what you're doing or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it could be, some people look at it like, yeah, this is boring, and when you're first starting off, like anything, taking rejection or any type of critical judgment, it's hard to take.
Hurts a little.
It's hurtful a little bit, but thankfully, very blessed. We, in our first year, we actually got an email from Spotify.
Right.
We came in like the top 20% most listened to podcast on all Spotify.
Right.
So that was a major accomplishment for year one for us. They sent a really neat, really neat little celebratory email with, it was really cool. So, but my biggest fear was definitely failing at entertaining our clients, or not clientele, but our fan base, our audience, and then of course, again, like I said earlier, being in front of a camera, talking to somebody. I've never done this. I know a lot of people are like, man, you sound natural on there, right? But I don't know. I'm a talker,
so to follow up with that part of it, I think I would disagree with you, because the reason that a lot of people feel that they couldn't do it is growing up, the type of job that you had as your first job was talking to people.
Right.
So that I think that forced you into kind of relaxing around people or having that back and forth, right?
Yeah. For sure. No, I could remember vividly at 15, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out, well, shit, how can I talk to a stranger?
Yep.
How can I make that connection with a stranger and get an order out of them and put it down properly? And you know what I mean? So that really took me a long way when it came to communication skills. One of the biggest, I think, positives I got out of working at such a young age was the fact that I'm not gonna, a lot of people will agree, I can talk to anybody.
Right.
You put me in front of it, and I've been in those situations at a young age, at 18 years old, you know, where I'll have to sit in front of a president of a company to pitch my Halloween idea to take over their theme park for Halloween, which I use that example because that's what happened. At 18 years old, I was put in that situation, you know, so definitely, you know what I mean? Interesting. You know, interesting.
Cool. And this is kind of a follow-up to that is what have you learned about yourself by being in front of the camera?
I need to lose some weight. No, it's different. It's different. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how tired I am. It doesn't matter how you're feeling for the day. That red light clicks on the camera. You know what I mean? It's a whole different perspective. You know, it's a whole different. It's almost, I wouldn't say like acting, but you want to put on your best.
Right.
You know, you don't want to feel. And don't get me wrong. Out of 100 episodes, there's 1 or 2 in there where I've been sick. There's 1 or 2 in there where it's like, I'm not feeling it. I'm tired. You know what I mean? But definitely, you know, want to put your best on. You know, and that's what I've really learned about, because Spotify is different. We can sit here and just shoot the shit with no camera on.
Yeah, there's no reaction.
Right? There's no reaction.
Facially.
There's none of that. But when you got that red light blinking at you, it's go time. You're like, oh shit, okay, I gotta, you know, how am I gonna present myself? I wanna, you know what I mean? I really want to sell the idea of Wicked After Dark.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is something that I take a lot of pride in, going back again, because it's something that I thought the idea of, and my sisters and you just supported it, and look, you know. 100, here we are. You know what I mean?
Cool. Question 4. Where would you like to see the podcast go in the next year?
Oh, dude, I was waiting for that question. I want to travel. I want to do some traveling and start here in California. You know what I mean? I want to do more vlog style podcast where we're on location more. You know what I mean? Because it's just more interesting. You know, I feel like you, the people, our audience would enjoy that more. You like to see the real world. You know, if we go to Alcatraz, if we go to the Whaley House in San Diego, if we go to, you know, San Jose and check out the Winchester House,
Ghost Town,
Calico, all that stuff, you know, and come back and do like a 2-part and you talk about your experience. Did you feel anything? What was it like, you know? And again, just exploring more of the theme park too during Haunt. Right. Because at the end of the day, we are a Halloween themed podcast. You know, we changed our name from horror to Halloween because realistically we enjoy Halloween aspect, you know, whether that's the cutesy, whether that's the Disney, and for most of, you know, us, it's the horror. When horror season is here, it's like it's on, you know what I mean?
It's all kind of mixed in, related.
Right. But realistically, you know, I got a massive Disney, the pumpkin that they saw at Disney sitting on top of my safe over here. So yeah, that's definitely what I want to do is expand into, you know, more travel, more on location stuff. And you know what? And I miss bringing people on. You know what I mean? Picking their brain a little bit on. So I know we did that a lot, which we'll get into today. But we used to do that a lot, and it was just amazing to see their perspective on not only business, but on how they got into Halloween and how they fell in love with the season and, you know, all that stuff. So definitely a big goal for the podcast this year is to just grow as far as travel, on location, and bringing back our guest.
Right.
You know?
Cool. That's a new answer. Question 5.
Number 5.
Numero 5. What was your favorite podcast or vlog moment?
Jesus, that's hard, bro. You know, it's funny because when, not to say that we're like this major podcast people, but every once in a while you'll run into something like, hey man, I really like that segment that you guys did on this episode. And you're truly sitting there like, oh man, I really wish I remembered which segment, you know?
Right.
Because again, it's a lot of episodes, man. You're doing a lot of talking, a lot of research, a lot of different approaches, you know what I mean? But I would say I could start with the vlog. I think the vlog, I want to say the first vlog we did.
The Prospect Park?
Was the Prospect Park. That was for me very enjoyable, very nerve-wracking because again, now not only this is a controlled environment. Right. There's lights, there's the camera, everything's still, I can relax.
Staged.
It's staged. You know what I mean? When you're in the public, like a park, you know what I mean? A big park, it's like shit, now you got to perform again in front of a camera, but now in public. So when we did that, dude, it was like a whole nother level of, oh shit, Like, this is something we're going to do. And then when we really got into it, you forget about the camera. You get into what you're there for, which I think we went for the ghost hunting at that time, right?
Yep.
We really got into that. We got really spooked out. It made for great content. What I mean? People really enjoyed it. And honestly speaking, I'm here to entertain,
Right.
not only entertain, but to, give a little knowledge out there, even, when it comes to the podcast and stuff like that, and putting Halloween content out. So that was for the vlog for sure, was the first one we did.
And just so you know that they both brought that up.
Did they?
Because somebody became a meme.
Oh yeah, that was good. But hey, you know what? But I love it. I don't. It's not making fun of me. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, that means I'm doing something, and it was a natural. It was a natural reaction.
Yeah.
I was scared as hell. There's, we're in the middle of a public. It's a state park. You know what I mean? It's dark. So it was on a natural reaction. I mean, Andy was as tough as balls as he seems. He was scared that night. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the only way we're seeing is through night vision.
Right.
So it was definitely an interesting night. But that's for vlog. As far as podcasts go, man, I'm going to go ahead and say every podcast we ever shot with a guest.
No.
To me, I'm going to cherish that because they took the time to sit in on our little podcast and spread their knowledge of the industry. We've had some of the biggest vendors in the industry here, from big, small to big.
Right.
So and I thoroughly enjoyed every single one of them. Getting their story and how they got into it. So I can't say this one,
right?
Because I'm going to go ahead and say that segment,
right?
And I think that's why it's so important for me. I don't know what theirs was, but for me to bring that back, and again to start spreading the knowledge of the industry,
right,
of the business, because guys, there's so much. We're on one side of the industry. There's still, the whole FX part of it. There's the makeup. There's the event planning. There's so much of it, bro.
A lot of it too is, we kind of scratched the surface on those things, but also the climate has changed over since we've had the last guest on, really.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of things people have gone through that would probably make great content.
100%. I think, like I said, everybody has such a unique story. A little similar.
Sure.
But it's just the fact that everybody's story is so unique. And to spread that, and those videos always did well. And again, and that's the reason why we did so well on Spotify and got the top 20%, because so many stories, dude.
Right.
I mean, their followers want to know how they got there, because you show up today to these major shows, right? You're like, oh man, but it wasn't always like that.
Right.
What was the climb to get there? That's what everybody wants to know.
Everybody started somewhere.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, and that story and the journey, I think, is very important to tell when it comes to any industry. But again, because we specialize and that's what we're into, is the Halloween industry, and that's what we're going to stick to. And then again, just entertaining and again spreading knowledge is always going to be number one, always, no matter what. You know what I mean?
For sure. Cool. That wraps up the questions.
All right. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Taking it into the next segment.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, it's Ashley from Wicked After Dark. Excited for our 100th episode, so I'm gonna answer 100 questions. Just kidding.
Just a few questions.
Just 5 questions.
5 questions.
Nothing more, nothing less. Just talk to my publicist.
Yes, I did.
Okay, just
Got
want to
your
make sure.
permission. Yes, so you're good to go. All right.
This
So,
is weird.
Question 1, and she has not heard the questions. That's
No,
exciting.
cold turkeying it. I wanted to be raw and emotional. Just kidding.
Well, the first one's, very simple. How do you feel about 100 episodes?
Well, goddamn, tired. No, I'm just kidding. How do I feel?
100. Did you ever think we'd make it to 100
No,
episodes?
I thought we'd make it to 5 and call it quits, honestly. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like my sense of time has changed. And I feel like everything's going quicker now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even feel like it's been, I don't know how long, 3 years?
3
2
years.
years?
3
Exactly, because we're a one a week basis. And I know we took like a small hiatus.
We're taking hiatuses, yes.
Weird. It's weird to
Where to get to 100?
get to 100. Like, what the hell did we talk about to get to 100 episodes?
Right.
Hopefully it was entertaining.
Right.
But it's exciting. It's exciting that we stuck to it, and now that we're here to celebrate 100. Because honestly, I didn't know we'd get to 100.
Yeah, and that's
You don't
one-
pay attention either. Like, as time goes, you're like,
Right.
fuck, episode 70, episode
Yeah.
blah, 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 the season blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
What bullshit is coming out this week that we're going to talk about,
Yeah. I
Um,
think that's the cool part, too, is the tenacity to put one together
Mhm.
week after week after week, and the consistency it takes. That's that everyone wanted to stick to it is pretty amazing. So
I'm surprised. Honestly, we all have separate lives, and
for sure.
But yeah, here we are. It's
100.
fun. Hopefully, keep going. Hopefully,
right.
101 drops.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Actually, this is it. 100 and cutting it, guys.
We'll see. We got some big plans, so I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
Question 2. What was your biggest fear in the beginning of starting the podcast?
Easy speaking. Talking. Like, it's weird. Like, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at y'all because you're talking to me.
Right.
And I still suck at it, even though we've been doing this for years. If you go back and listen to that first episode, you can just hear how disgustingly scripted it was and fake toned and, watching what you say. And, I mean, we still do that, but we don't.
I think the difficulty of putting it together is what you're saying, and being in front of the camera.
Being in front of the camera and just speaking.
Right.
And then you can sit there like, what do I say next? Like, what do I say next? Do I say this? Is that stupid to say? You get in your own head.
I think, too, it took a little time to make it more natural to where you're just coming off the top of your head with different, especially in the off-tangent segments, which everybody's like so much,
Definitely the tangents came as we got more comfortable.
Sure.
Because we really, in the beginning, we were scripted. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, stuck to, like, okay, what's next on the list? What's next on the list? And now it's like, where are we?
Yeah.
Maybe we should stick to the list, but we never do. But yeah, it's definitely sitting down and speaking to the camera is hard. I think I'm the most outgoing out of, Anthony's pretty outgoing. Out of us three, Jessica's terrible at it. Like, I'm struggling now, so I just can imagine how she's going to be.
Right.
But yeah, I think just sitting here and speaking to the camera and then like thinking, who's going to watch this? Fighting your own head, like, no one's going to fucking watch it. Like, this is silly. I feel silly.
And then finding out that people actually do watch it.
Right. Like, I think getting over the feeling silly part was kind of hard for me. But what we do for a living is pretty silly to people, so it's kind of like, whatever.
Number 3 is a follow-up question to number 2, really. What have you learned about yourself by being in front of the camera? What could could you give advice to somebody if they're ever going to be in front of the camera? Like, how nervous you were to where you are now, to where you're more comfortable.
Yeah, don't do
What
that.
did you learn about yourself that made you get to this point
of
now you're comfortable in front of the camera?
What did I learn about myself? Good question, Jimmy. I don't know. I learned that I could do hard things,
Yeah.
I felt like for some reason this was really hard for me to get on board with, because when Anthony brought it up to us, and I was always like, are you sure? Like, this is stupid. This is silly. No one's going to watch it. Like, we're boring. We're not funny. I'm pretty funny, but the rest of them aren't, Yeah, I think I've proven to myself that I can do hard things if I stick with it.
Right.
So that's what this has done to me, is proven to myself that.
Do you feel like it's made it easier for you to do in-person events when people talk to you and approach you and do things that are out in the public? This is a follow-up to that follow-up.
Yeah,
that's not one of the questions.
I would think it's definitely gave me more confidence.
Sure.
But like I said, going back to year 1, I was so terrified to be like, your total is blah, blah, blah. How are you? It was very like cold turkey type of conversations, and now I'm talking to people about their freaking dogs and I think it's just the practice of speaking every day, though.
Right.
Because when we're always at an event, we're always doing some crazy shit, and I think that over time has given me enough confidence to like just, I'm not scared to talk to nobody no more.
Right.
I can go to the airport like you do and go talk to a random stranger.
Yeah. I think that too. That's what it's done. To follow up on the, to make your point for the question, is giving you confidence is what it really has done.
Definitely, because you're practicing in a way every day, like speaking to the camera, talking about random ass topics. Coming up with stuff to be entertaining. But yeah, I think it definitely helped be more personable,
right?
Carrying on in conversation. Jessica hasn't taken to that, but
we'll see how sometimes
they're not
she
even
does,
here, and I'm roasting them.
Well, you'll have your chance later. Question 4: where would you like to see the podcast go in the next year?
Ooh.
What kind of growth would you like to see for the podcast?
I would like it to see it grow in the sense of numbers, like on YouTube.
Followership.
YouTube is so hard. I'm really impressed with Spotify. I'm so grateful that many people listen to us on Spotify. And I mean, grateful for the numbers on YouTube. To whoever watches and listens, that I'm really grateful to. But I would like to see us develop more into more content, like on the streets, and not just sitting on this home studio, going out and doing more
hybrid type stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. On the streets or
I-
going to random places. I would like to see that more. And I don't know. Maybe bring back the guests.
Yeah.
But personally, just probably bringing better content, as in visuals. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
hitting the streets,
Yeah,
doing
like
more
we've done in the
ghost
past.
tours,
Mhm.
hunting type things. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the vlog styles we've done in the past did really well.
Mhm.
So I think people are into that. They dig it. They like, and I'm gonna roast Anthony when his turn comes up about becoming a meme and
Yeah.
all those type of things. So,
Mhm.
you
I mean,
know,
I was a meme. They were making fun of me because I at the escape room, but
and well, that follows this pulls me into the fifth and final question. So you may have already answered it. What is your favorite podcast or vlog moments over the past 100 episodes?
our moments, I would say that my favorite would be bringing on a lot of our vendor friends and
Uh-huh.
digging into their past and their passion for things and what kickstarted them. I think that was a highlight in the podcast for me, was having those discussions. And just watching us grow as people too.
Mhm.
Like if you go back and sometimes I like to go down memory lane and look at us growing over time and just seeing that development too. But yeah, definitely speaking to our fellow vendors and friends and running into people too on the streets that are at our shows, like,
Yeah.
oh, I watch your podcast. They always say I'm the best on here, but I'm not gonna say that. But
My favorite.
yeah, that's definitely would be. I have to say 2 highlights, and speaking to our friends, and then having supporters and people who watch our podcast come and give us their advice and bring up topics that were in the pod that I don't even remember speaking about. You know,
Right.
that's always a good feeling.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I'd say.
Cool.
It's the highlight to me.
Alright.
But yeah.
Good job. Thanks for the time on the 5 questions, and we're gonna roll into the next one.
Of course.
What's up, guys? It's Jess from Wicked After Dark. Just want to say sorry for my voice. I'm getting sick, or I'm sick, whatever you want to say. I'm here to answer some questions for our 100th episode. Let's get going.
Here we go. All right. Question 1. How do you feel about 100 episodes?
That was fast as hell.
Yeah?
How the hell are we already at the 100? I thought we were on season 2, like episode 50.
No, it's just, it's been 3 years, so, I mean.
Holy crap, for real?
Yeah. Going on 3 years
Well,
this
there you
year,
go.
so.
That's how you know.
100
You know
episodes.
what? That's what you always say, Dad. When you get older, time flies so
It does.
fast.
It does. Did you ever think you'd make it to 100 episodes?
No, I thought we were going to quit after the first season.
And I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Ashley and the people out there. It's a testament that everybody wanted to keep going, and the grind that this is to make this happen week after week and make content when you don't even, especially, a lot of times we feel like, oh, is anybody watching? Is anybody listening? You know, we see numbers, so we know that some people are, and we appreciate it. So, number 2, what was your biggest fear in the very beginning about doing a podcast?
Just talking on camera.
Yeah.
For those who know me, which, a lot of people don't really talk to me because I'm just so, I wouldn't say shy. It's just like if someone doesn't come up to me and talk to me, I'm not initiating a conversation.
You're not the
you know?
initiator.
That's not me. I'm not going to go over there and talk to this random person. I can't.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just like the talking in camera and the talking in general. I'm just like, okay, what are we going to, I don't want to sound dumb.
Were you nervous about seeing yourself on camera for the first time and things like that, or hearing yourself?
Hearing myself, because I already know I sound so girly.
Yeah.
So just listening to myself, I hate it. But, it is what it is. 100 episode,
Number 3, and that's a follow-up on number 2. What have you learned about yourself by being in front of the camera for 100 episodes?
I'm a big back. Not just kidding. I don't know.
What have you learned from being in front of the camera? What has it helped you in other parts of
I
what
guess
we do?
I would say it has helped with customer interactions because if I could talk to myself or to my siblings in front of a camera, it's easier to talk to people now because I'm at that point you have to. I feel like that helped me be like, oh hey guys, how you doing?
Right.
Before I would be like, Ashley, there's someone right here. Go talk to them. Talk to them.
You're always in the background.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, number 4. Where would you like to see the podcast go this year? Would you
I
like
would
to
like
see it
to
happen?
see more vlog style podcasts. Those are always fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy them more than just sitting down in a room and talking.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're talking and filming everything that we're doing, and I like bringing the camera around with us, be like, hey guys, this is what we're doing. I don't know, the vlog style is just like, I like seeing that better.
more
I just
entertaining
want
to you?
I want to see us do more vlogs, go out, do more stuff.
You know, I always had the idea too of that. You know, I think everybody's going to say that because those have all done really well for us.
Yeah.
But I always had the idea of just like the, and I think we've done it on one or two of them where we've done vlog style and then come back and talked about it.
Yeah.
So it's like a 2-in-1 type of
Yeah,
episode.
even when we do stuff like that, like where it is, even if it's like one episode's a vlog, the next one we talk about what we did in our vlog, how whatever, you know.
Right.
Me personally, if I'm watching like TikToks or YouTube, I love watching vlogs. Like I want to see what you're doing.
I just, you know, I think too, like one of the things we talked about, and it was some of the things that happened in our vlogs, like the Wizards and Wires, where, you know, Ashley got scared.
Yeah.
and those type of things that have happened within those things create memories that you're never going to forget, you know?
Create memories, memes.
Yeah.
Anthony's a meme on Instagram, guys. If y'all didn't know.
Number 5, and this kind of relates to that. What is your favorite podcast or vlog moment over the last 100 episodes?
Probably when we're at Wizards and Wires. Yeah, when we're filming, because to be honest, like, yeah, I seem all natural and whatever, but I was so scared in that room because it was so dark. And Andrew was in the corner half the time in the dark. Okay, only half the room was actually lit, and Andrew's recording us, but that's not what it looked like in there. So I was like, okay, someone come with me because I can't do this by myself.
So you were scared there, but not Prospect Park?
I was scared at Prospect Park, but there was all of us there, and it was still outside. I could run out.
Well, you guys were all there at Wizards and Wire.
It was different.
It was darker.
It's different because I knew, like, since we had done one of their escape rooms before, I knew they were gonna have like sounds and whatever, and they did. It was like sounds that would come out, and like Ashley ran out of the room. Like it was just like, it's different being inside a room knowing you're about to get scared and being outside not knowing what you're
It's
about
almost
to
like
see.
doing like doing a maze walkthrough style and getting scared, you know.
It's like, it's like if we could go in a scare zone, I'll be fine. We're outside, you already know. You can see them coming. In a maze, you don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Obviously sometimes you do, but like most of the time you have to prepare yourself.
Right.
That's kind of, I enjoyed that episode a lot just because like a lot of people got to see us get scared, and it's just,
Natural
it was funny,
reactions.
watching Andrew in the corner
Yeah.
and
The part they didn't see.
talking.
The part
Yeah.
they didn't see.
talking,
You know,
be like, it's dark over here.
You know what's
Like,
funny? Yeah. And I can expand on that because I didn't get to go to that, but you know, I remember Andrew coming back and was like, yeah, I think I was the scaredest. I had to stand in the dark in the corner.
Yeah. And did we film the first escape room? I don't remember. Yeah, we did.
We did.
That one was like, I wasn't scared of that one. I was like more like, oh, we're playing a game. Like this is, it's different. But with the paranormal one, that one I was scared. Going in, I was scared because it was dark.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, those are the 5 questions, and we'll continue on mowing on down to the 100th episode of Wicked After Dark.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the 100th episode of Wicked After Dark. 100. Where we talk about all things Halloween. My name's Anthony. With me tonight, we got Ashley and Jess.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
The man behind the cam, Andy. And his trusty sidekick, Jimbo.
Hello.
No applause. Damn, bro.
No applause today.
He said no applause.
No. Good
Wow.
number today.
That one kind of threw me off now. You know what I mean? We're at the 100th episode. We got to be sharp, bro. You know what I mean?
Don't want to take the focus off the 100th episode. You know?
Today's podcast is going to be a whole different approach. You know, we want to really focus on the fact that these balloons are sitting behind us, reflecting.
Don't forget to look at our decor, guys, if you're on YouTube. We had little tiny balloons that we got scammed because we really thought they were going to be big. And then we got these 100 sign behind us with these little garland that I made. That's fucking Tweckle.
Yeah.
And
We got the
Got a
cake
little
over
cake
on
back
this
there.
side right here.
cake.
Right here.
Cake. That's his 100. I'm just kidding.
Number 100.
And that silly banner Anthony really wanted to put up.
Hope everybody enjoyed our interview segment.
Yeah, we did do that. I hope everybody does enjoy that. That was really more of a one-on-one, personal, to where nobody can listen to what you have to say. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I hear that a lot of us had the same answers.
I don't think so.
No? They're going to be a little different?
They're a little different.
I'm
yeah.
excited to listen to this one.
Who told you that, Andy? doesn't even
One of
pay
these guys did.
attention.
Yeah.
All I got from the first interview was I don't need y'all. I can do this
Yeah,
just
that's what I was
solo.
saying.
Just kidding.
But anyways, guys, number 100. It's a big accomplishment, man. To be sitting here today, 100 episodes deep.
Yeah.
You know, honestly speaking, is just insane to me.
Surprising.
Shocking, surprising, because
we're quitters and we quit at a
the
lot of
path to one. If I could just work out for 100 days,
Shit.
you know what I mean. So, but the path to 100 has been an exciting one.
It's
You know what I'm
been
saying?
a hike,
Been a roller coaster.
Right.
some up and downs,
Definitely.
some hiatuses in there, and some
Yeah.
transitions from studio backgrounds to style of
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Studio backgrounds is.
There's been a lot of different changes, though, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I love to see the evolution of the podcast. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we're going to focus on today, guys, is the evolution of the podcast Wicked Boutique, because we're also celebrating the 5-year anniversary of Wicked Boutique.
Yeah.
Insane. Yeah, that was just last week. We turned 5.
We're toddlers, man.
Dude, we're going so fast.
We're still in the terrible twos, though.
But anyways, let's get right
Still
into
can't
it,
wipe
man.
our own ass though.
Let's get right into it. I'm very curious, guys. You know, day one, we've all tried to sit there and watch the first episode that ever dropped.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, that's one of the highest watched episodes
Yeah,
on
it's
our
fucking
YouTube.
cringy.
And it's disgusting. You know what I mean? There's no confidence there. They're so scared. You're so nervous. Where now it's just like, cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not nervous anymore. But anyway, how do you feel from going from episode 1 to episode 100? How do you feel that we've adapted and changed? You know what I mean?
We've changed a lot. Not just like, our getting used to talking and
Yeah.
sitting in front of the camera and speaking to each other and answering off each other and the scripts and all that.
Yeah.
And, I mentioned it in my one-on-ones, like our first pod, it was very scripted.
Right.
We stuck to that script and we didn't go off tangent. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah.
we were scared, we were nervous, we sounded ridiculous.
Yeah.
Robotic.
To now, yeah, like robots. To now, it's like we barely stick to our script. We talk about some random shit, and
Yeah.
it's more natural.
The
Obviously,
tangents
you get used
are
to it.
next level.
No, we
Yeah.
get way off.
You go tangent off of tangent off of tangent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the growth is definitely there. I don't know if it's growth or just
Yeah. Right.
we don't shut up.
Lack of discipline.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah,
You know.
Jessica's still quiet.
Hey,
though.
Jess is consistent,
She's
bro.
consistent.
I appreciate that. You know what I mean? She's
No,
consistent.
I've seen the first one.
Oh,
I talk
okay.
a little more, you know.
Jessica in the first few episodes or first few seasons, whereas that the quiet girl from Pitch Perfect.
Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah.
That was Jessica.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt that was Jess, bro. She's definitely come out of her shell now. Just for reference, guys,
butterfly.
these interviews that we conducted prior to the start of this podcast, I think her segment was 5 minutes. Mine was like 13.
6.
You know what I mean? That's gonna.
It's
that's
not my
gonna
fault
be,
that you literally go off tangent still.
Oh man, I got a lot to
By
say.
yourself.
I got a lot to say, bro. You know, but anyway,
Not everybody. Everybody's not the same.
yeah.
Kind of want to re-dive it. A lot of people too in that first episode enjoyed the personal aspect
Yeah,
of things. They really
yeah.
wanted to know more about us,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was weird. Like I thought it was boring. Like no one gives a fuck, but I guess people really do. And we also got a lot of new followers. Obviously it's been almost 3 years, so a lot of new listeners who probably didn't make it back to that first episode who want to know a little
Right.
bit more about us. So I think that's what we're gonna do today too, is re-dive into
Yeah,
that.
we can we can dive into it, but kind of make it a quick summary of what transpired, right, and what created all this. But
Yeah.
and go over all of the people that have helped make this podcast possible from all of our
Yeah.
guests. Turns out we have a ton of people we've had on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and I was actually said this in the interview before this that was when we received the top 20% medal from Spotify. Because again, it was so much, so many different opinions and faces, and you know the views were there. You know what I mean? It was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's something I hope we get back to. You know what I mean? So,
We will.
but yeah, I mean, again, just going back, 100 just keeps hitting me in the face. You know, because can you really sit here and say, yeah, I thought we'd make it 100?
No.
No.
Right?
When I was honest. I said no.
Yeah, no way. No way. I said
Me
that.
too.
Oh
I
shit!
said no.
Maybe we did get the same answer.
You know, I
guys.
said no. You
Y'all
know,
cheat
there's
off each other.
100. I mean, okay, because 100 is a big achievement, but it isn't, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
there's people that shoot 2, 3, 4 episodes a week.
right.
Yeah, but
Right.
they don't have other obligations.
Yeah, what are their obligations? Yeah.
But us,
I'm not
it's-
talking head. I'm not talking smack, but their
Well-
situations are different.
One of the things that I brought up in most of the interview breakouts because I was conducting the interview was the consistency that it takes to put these things together week after week. The commitment that it takes to try to come up here and do this show after show. You know, it's a lot, and people may not understand what it takes to put one of these out.
right.
Because there's a lot of people like, I vlog all the time on my TikTok. You know what I mean? It's 30 seconds.
I
This
think
ain't like
the
that.
opinions go both ways. There are people who think that it's easy. Like,
It's
how
not.
hard can it really be, to go, like our family, for example.
Yeah.
Some of them think, oh my God, it's not that difficult, go hurry up and go talk about what you want to talk about. And it's like, it is
Damn,
difficult.
call him out to me.
Your mama. Yeah. Just kidding, Mom. Love you. But it's not that simple. For example, when we had a few family members on, and when they came and sat down, they're like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's different. And we've said it
Being on
before.
this
Is
side.
sitting and with the camera on and the
The
lights
nerves.
on and the monitor staring at you and the timestamp, and you're like, "Oh shit!" Like, what do I say next?
And the
You
little
know?
notes in the background, and you're not forgetting something.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think people, so like you said, some people do appreciate it, some people don't. Or maybe they don't not, it's not that they don't, it's just they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, just to sit here and say, 100 deep, I remember the day I pitched the idea to you guys. At the shop, and you guys are like, what? What are we going to do?
And
Yeah.
that story is funny because I think Anthony brought it up in his breakout there was, he had put out the money to get the stuff. And I remember the very first mics we got and we couldn't make it work and we were frustrated. And it was such a process to even get going.
Right.
So like when you brought that up, like it just had a flashback in my head, me sitting at the table trying to make these USB mics work that would not work. You could only use one or two, I believe. I
Yeah.
can't remember. And it just didn't work right. And it was like, we messed with that thing for 2 or 3 weeks and just, all right, send the stuff back.
Yeah.
We got to do some more research. And it's not just, hey, we're going to start a podcast and boom, you start.
Right. No. It's been a process, man. And again, going back to the beginning, I love to talk about the beginning because there's so much that went into it. From the rehearsals of trying to get normalized and on talking on a microphone to even my dad and Andy back here learning, because none of us are from a techie place.
Right.
None of us went to broadcast
for
school.
them to have to learn to rig all this up, you know what I mean? The proper software that they had to download on these computers and the boards we had to buy, the
Yep.
proper wires,
The lights.
and the lighting, you know what I mean? Because when we started, there was no lighting.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, fuck, let's block this and see if we can, you know what I mean? That's how it was. Now it's all artificial and, you know what I mean? I definitely think we've come a long way from day one.
Yeah.
It's been a joy, though. It's been a blast, But again, what was your thought when I came to you and you're like, hey, I think we should do a podcast?
I was
You're
like,
gonna
this
have to
fool's
listen to my interview.
crazy.
Oh,
kidding.
shit.
What did she say?
She was like, you're going to have to listen to my interview.
No.
Honestly, my first thought was, here we go. Some random fucking idea this guy wants to try. And I have to go up here and look stupid and try to figure it out because it's what he wants to do. Because there wasn't really a reason to say no. You paid for the stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, it's going to be great, guys.
We should just try it.
I think too, like I don't remember, what was it called? Pop Shop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys had already did a couple of those. So he's
Yeah.
like, you guys are used to being in front of the camera now. You did Pop Shop. Da-da-da-da.
Right.
No, we
Right.
weren't. That was a lie.
Yeah.
Definitely, I didn't see it working.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to tell you no.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
was kind of like, all right, we'll let him live the dream.
We'll
a
let
little
him
bit,
support.
see what
We'll
happens.
support his dreams.
Look
for
at
right
me now.
Here's a
We still don't make no paper.
here's a better follow up to that question. How many times have you wanted to quit?
Oh, man.
This morning, he's got home with a shit attitude, like, what are we even doing?
This morning.
When you got home from work, you
No,
this
had a little
afternoon.
bit of a toot,
This
sir.
morning,
I
5
mean, dude,
p.m.
I work a long day. You know what I mean? I think it just irritates the How do you say that?
Procrastination.
The level of procrastination that we sit on is
We've
gnarly.
spoken though. Oh my God, this one keeps wanting to fall. We've spoken for many days and weeks
Right.
on what we're gonna do, and we couldn't figure it out. Honestly,
You know what though? And then we came to
Never did.
realize it's just telling our story again, going back to the beginning. You know, kind of how we're doing
Back
now,
in time.
and doing those little interviews on one where nobody can, you know, or
Influence
somebody
you.
can influence you based off a look. You're like, fuck, did I say something wrong? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you know, so that's why I think we decided to go this route because we're like, okay, do we go somewhere? Do we stick to the plan? Do we stick to the roots? You know,
do we
because
not switch it up? Do
Right.
we switch it up? Do we twerk?
a lot has changed. You know?
Yeah. Especially the size of us.
Nah,
100%.
I've been consistent this whole time.
Well, I went through a whole pregnancy, guys, through
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
thought, and you know,
Life has happened.
definitely.
Life has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There was a whole part of the podcast where you weren't in it. Like we filmed it at the little round table. I don't know if you
yeah,
remember.
because I was in
Remember that?
postpartum.
Yeah, only for like a month though.
I had
it
a
was
baby
couple.
fresh out the cooch, you know.
Yeah.
It was like 4 episodes
Yeah.
to Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
That
were
was a blast.
those were different.
Those had to be hard.
No,
Especially
it
'cause I
was
was-
actually pretty easy.
It had to be, you know, you guys had to miss laughing because I wasn't around.
Oh
Shit.
my god.
Actually, no, you guys still were calling me in, bugging me.
We actually we had called you in one time on the phone and remember that? Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple times. Like,
Yeah.
A couple times. Okay, but we're getting off order now. What are we talking
Again,
about?
here we
next?
go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tangents.
Well, that's what we do.
We didn't write a list.
That's part of the history. Well, the day one was, you know, I'll never forget that Anthony's like, all right, we got to build a table. You know, so those are all more of the things that go into this thing of let's do a podcast. We're going to build a table and we're going to do this and we need to put this into it and we want it to be shaped like a coffin and all these things that for the aesthetic of it and
All these things that didn't even matter because you couldn't see the
See
shape
the
of the
table.
table.
Yeah, literally. That's why I was just
Awesome.
Yeah.
it looked like a strange shape from because it's front
I do
view.
miss having a table though. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's still downstairs whenever you want it.
Nah, not
These
that
chairs
one.
would be sit too low for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't doing all that shit. Who knows if we'll be around for 200 episodes?
Damn, like
Y'all were
that.
thinking it. Who
Nah.
I didn't think would be here today. You
Yep.
know, we never stay consistent for
I almost
shit.
didn't even show up today.
Just almost had calling in sick and shit.
Again, guys, she's always fucking sick though.
I am not.
Her immune system's worse than
She's
the old
only
lady.
she's only here because I told her we don't pay sick time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, I literally went to work and my manager was just like, "No, you're going home."
Does your work know that you have a podcast?
No,
They're going to.
no, I'm not telling them.
Yeah, I will because I'm going in store.
We're gonna email it to Staples.
I'm like, hey guys, that's my sister, and
I'll be
she's
like-
on a
And I'll
podcast.
be like, "I've never seen that lady in my life."
Call the police.
Call 911.
my
There's this
stalker.
crazy person here.
But yeah, that's the evolution of the podcast. Was thinking this is fucking dumb. To
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed.
And then
To
Still embarrassed.
to rehearsing it like 20 times before we did the first one.
to kind of like, are we filming tonight? All right, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Sure.
Let
let's
me
sit
tell
down.
you. Let me ask you though.
To I gotta do my makeup.
During the
today. That's what
process of
Ashley
the
says.
podcast, we had guests on,
Yeah.
which was very successful, and I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed it. The first interaction when somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, I really enjoy your podcast."
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? You know what I mean? Because again, you're sitting there, you're not expecting any of that. Yeah, you know that people are watching, you know that people are listening, but to have that interaction for the first time, what was that like for you?
Crazy.
Was that motivational? Was that, you know, I mean, like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed? Was it, you know, where did you sit?
When, for some reason, it always happens to me though. I feel. The first
Okay, 'cause
time
you're always
someone.
at the booth.
That's true. Y'all
Yeah.
don't do shit. The first time that happened, I was just like, really? Like, why? Like, what do you think? Like, is it boring? Like, is it
Right.
whack? You know, they
Yeah.
really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, you really watch it?
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was fake. You know, the views were fake and no one's listening, and
Yeah, yeah.
we're talking to ourselves. So that was kind of weird, knowing that someone's watching me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
you
doubt.
know?
No doubt.
That's kind of threw me off for a little. Obviously, I know we're posting this to the public and on Instagram and
YouTube.
YouTube and Spotify, so obviously someone's listening. But I just never thought I'd meet anybody.
Yeah. Jess?
My
She's
first
like,
interaction was which one are you?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we weren't. I don't think we I don't know. They were listening on Spotify, I
Spotify.
guess.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
You should have been like, Anthony.
I was just like, oh, who do you think I am? You know, and they're just like, oh, I don't know, are you Jessica, are you Ashley? I was just like,
I was thinking Ashley.
based off of this interaction, you should automatically assume I'm Jessica, you know?
Yeah.
Based
that-
on my lack of talking to you.
Yeah, Ashley talks way more. Anthony can't stop talking.
yeah, I got a problem.
Yeah, he won't shut up, you know? But that was my very first, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, this is weird. Like,
Yeah, no doubt.
and then like it kept happening. Not like, oh, which one are you? But like, oh, I watched your podcast. What the hell?
Right.
Why?
Right.
But in my head, you know, I know it's bad to ask, but you're just like, what the hell?
No, it's like when they bring up a topic from the podcast, there's certain episode, and you're like, you
You're
don't
just
even
like,
remember.
"Ooh."
You're like, oh shit, like what did I say? What
Yeah,
did we
yeah.
talk about? I don't remember the answer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, like I said, we're 100 episodes deep. It's really difficult to go back to someone else's favorite moment.
Man, I
Right.
really remember what we said last week, you know?
I'll be honest
Definitely.
with you. There's times when we edit and I go in to put in the description on YouTube or Spotify. I look at it like, what did we talk about? And we're talking 2 days later. We're not even talking like
Yeah.
months
30
later.
minutes later, I forget what
I'm
we're
like,
talking
well,
about.
you know, who was our when we did our new segments that we have this season with Killer's Corner and Haunted Places that we did. Who was the Killer's Corner we did this week? We just
Right.
talked about them, but geez, I forgot.
Right. You know what I mean? And even introducing you to a mic,
Yeah,
you know, that's pretty later on in the show.
pod.
Like season
in
two.
the
Well,
beginning.
we ended up introducing a mic to Dad because he was always writing on that damn board.
Yeah.
And we're just like what? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
And now I'm just whispering shit in the background all the time.
Your mic is more clear than mine.
Yeah, I know.
I listen to the
Hey.
guys. If you can't hear me sometimes, it's because I forget that I have to speak into the mic
Right.
and look
She-
into the
she
camera. I'm
Hey.
still new here.
You know why mine sounds clear?
Why?
I know the operator of the board.
Probably you sliding them $5 back there.
Make them sound stupid.
Yeah.
Jessica, if you cough one more time, I'm talking.
I'm sorry. Like I said in my interview, I apologize, guys. I am sick. And my siblings get irritated when I get sick. Like, if it's my fault.
I'm sick too. Sick of your
in the
shit.
head. Like, literally, over here dying. Ashley's like, we got to go to Dollar Tree. I'm laying in bed, like, okay.
I got a question for all of you based on
No, I'm just kidding.
what we've all talked about already in the breakouts and in the beginning of this podcast. When did you know it was going to work?
I still don't. I still don't know.
I don't think that ever really hit me.
Me either.
When
you
did we know what?
It
That
was
it's
gonna
gonna
work.
That this is the thing we should do, or because we got to 100.
I-
Why don't we stop if,
Right.
if we didn't feel that way?
I don't think
I
that.
have a good answer for this.
Then talk, Mama. You're talking over me. Say your
No,
answer.
go ahead.
I don't think it's
That-
ever been that kind of. I'm gonna snatch that.
I think that's
beat
when I
me
knew
off
it
your
was gonna
head.
work is when you guys started fighting and arguing and shit.
Okay, it came to a point for me personally when I felt like people are coming up to me to talk about it and enjoying it,
Right.
and for me to be like, fuck it, let's just quit. I feel bad, you know, not because I'm obviously grateful, but at the same time, like people enjoy it. So even if it's a smaller number than
Yeah.
you know the other podcasts out there, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still felt like
No, now you feel
we're
obligated.
too deep.
Yeah.
We're too deep for it to end. So yeah, that's my answer.
Jess?
I think I knew when we started doing guests, and then, like, the first couple we obviously asked, and then it got to, hey, can I be on your podcast? And we were
Yeah.
like, what?
You wanna
You want to be on my podcast? Okay.
That and then when
No,
someone
and then you started booking people out for a month.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember our schedule would be full 4 to 6 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, damn.
That-
You want to be on mine?
Uh-huh.
And then when people will notice if we didn't drop an episode,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, you guys,
And
what happened?
messages.
You guys, nothing came out last week. I was waiting for the drop, and I was like,
Oh, we had some technical difficulties.
we
Our
did
guys
that.
back there.
I want to
We
apologize
suck.
for that. Well, this should be 130 episodes in, but there was times where
Okay, let's.
figure our
If we
shit
want, you
out.
want to go there? Let's go there.
Oh, shit.
I'm not blaming anybody.
There
I'm
was a
just saying.
time, if you go back and look at episode 1 through probably 5, we used a really cheap camera with some
Yeah.
really cheap memory cards.
Yeah.
And it really blew up one time.
Hey, bro, that was all in the budget, man.
One time. You know,
Well,
how
couple
many
times.
episodes have we
That was
lost?
one.
2 or 3? 4.
Another time, what was the second time? It was like 2.
We lost the audio.
We lost the audio.
Yep.
Can you imagine what kind of gold was on there?
Well, Thank you, Apple, for
The
updating my
last
computer.
one that we just did was
Oh
gold.
man, that's actually happened recently where we lost the whole Charles Manson
Yep.
one.
Yeah.
And that one was good.
Yeah. It
That's
was.
because
That-
Apple did an update.
That one was deep.
It was deep and good, and the fact that I had to redo it irritated me.
It definitely didn't hit the same the second time.
Yeah, Ashley literally was
you
not
know,
passionate
Charles-
I
the
was like,
second
Charles
time.
Manson, helter skelter, lead of a month.
I already said the shit once.
She was like a robot, like Siri talking to you.
But it, like you guys said about being in front of the camera is not easy. All this shit ain't easy either.
No.
So shit happens.
Definitely not. You know, you give credit where credit is due, but now we're in the process of giving credit, guys. Again, credit to the people behind the scenes, though, not just Andy and Jimbo because they lose half our shit all the time, but like Ash, you know what I mean? She's got kids that need to be baby or a kid that needs to be babysat while this is going on. You know, me, you know, my wife watching our kids, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, my mom helping out with all that, and you know, she understands when it's podcast day, so
Yeah.
again, just a lot goes into this that people don't see, you know. But
It's kind of like Wicked Fest.
for me, you know, what keeps me going, like, and I'm actually gonna go piggyback off both of you guys' point, is the fact that people know about it, even if it's one,
Yeah.
2, 3 people. Right now, you feel like, oh my goodness, I almost feel obligated to talk about this. You know, I don't want to let that person down.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's some people that really get into it. You know, we are their entertainment, and I'll take that.
Yeah.
You know, because when we initially got into this, it was like, I'm gonna be a fucking podcaster and be super famous.
I'm
you
going to
know?
be the next Logan Paul. or
No,
whatever the hell
no,
his name
it's
is.
never about. I mean, if it comes, it comes.
Right.
You know, but it's not like my. It's like in baseball, you hit a home run. It's not on. It's not on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, same here. But anyway,
That being
it's-
said, share our videos, guys. Make
it's
sure
been
you're sharing.
it's been a long journey.
Subscribe to
It's been a
YouTube.
long journey.
Please go
you
ahead and
know.
hit that subscribe button right now.
And I'm very excited for what's to come.
yeah.
Very excited. I know everybody had a little bit different answers when it came to the whole vlog idea and what was your favorite on that, you know. And but here's the number one thing.
They were actually had the same answer.
But here's the number one thing I know that we all
Favorite episodes?
meme.
we all enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We all enjoyed that idea of it. So I know that'll be making a big comeback.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then bringing people back, I hope. You know, and hopefully we can figure that out.
I
Because
want to
again,
like start doing like ghost huntings with friends or something.
yeah, dude, like with a
That's
with a
so
pal or with a partner. Yeah, no, that'd be sick, dude.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many great ideas, but again, it's
Gotta do
putting
it.
it together. Putting
Yeah.
it together. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the key.
It's a little harder to. Damn, my voice just. But you know, our season of selling is coming up where we're already starting to get booked.
Right.
You know, weekends. So that also makes it a little more difficult to film because Anthony has a Monday through Friday. My dad has a freaking Friday through Tuesday. You know, all of our schedules are so different
Yeah.
that we literally would have to we have to pre-plan a whole
You
month.
gotta
pretty
figure
much.
it
Even
out.
these are hard
Yeah.
because we film these on days that my dad's off.
Yeah.
But I'm coming off a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you work, you know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough, you know? But like I said, overall, though, enough of the bitching. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy sitting here bullshitting, bickering, and
What was your idea? I hope you
and
enjoyed it.
it was my idea. And you know what? I'm gonna take credit for that.
Go ahead.
This is my idea. Like Ashley
is
likes
mine.
to do.
idea.
Like Ashley likes to do.
Oh,
Who came up with that?
Me.
Who came up with this?
Me.
Me.
Oh, the pod?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
yeah,
you.
it's all me. But anyway, enough about the podcast,
Who wants
guys.
to quit
I
first?
think we want to. I think we want to get into a little bit of, like we did episode 1, right? Kind of talk about how you as an individual got into the whole Halloween idea,
Right.
which will take us into the evolution of Wicked Boutique. Because again, Wicked Boutique just turned 5 years old last
5.
week, man.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Who wants to start it off?
You.
Me?
You
Or
started
should
it
Dad
off.
ask?
Oh,
I don't even
man.
remember our first episode.
Jesus.
I am not gonna watch it again. It's so
I think it was like
embarrassing.
what got us into
The
Halloween
first,
or something.
yeah, the
Yeah.
first thing was like, you know, hi, I'm Jessica.
Hi, my name is Jess.
Yes, and
My name's
Name's
so
Jeff.
At 27.
you know,
No,
what got
not.
you?
Oh, yeah.
What got you to like horror?
What,
What
3
what
years
got
ago
you?
you were?
You know,
Yeah, no. Yeah.
what got you into this industry, this business, this
Go ahead and say your
Shit.
name.
genre.
Say your name and
My
age.
name's
Your
Anthony.
occupation.
I'm now
Damn.
32.
name,
Yeah,
age,
no,
date of
damn.
birth, social security number.
12, 8. No, God, dude, what got me into the business, into the end? Or you know what? Let's start with what got me into Halloween, the passion of it. Right, growing up as a kid, I hated it. Biggest chicken shit that walked the streets of Halloween. On Halloween, the biggest, bro. Don't ask me to go to a door if there's somebody sitting there, bro. I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was a
chicken.
big old bitch. All right. I didn't like it until I was a sophomore in high school.
Damn.
Right. Even then, my buddy said, "Hey, man, we're doing this. We're going to Horror Nights. We're going as a crew. Whoop de woo woo." I was
You're
like,
going.
Let's go find some girlfriends.
I don't want to go. I'm scared. He's like, "No, you're gonna go, bro. Like, it'll be fine. We're going as a big group." I went. Peer pressure was a bitch. Fell in love. Absolute love. This was my sophomore year of high school, which I want to say was 2009.
8. What year did you graduate? 11?
11.
Yeah.
So the year was 2009. I went to my first ever Halloween Horror Nights where my parents wouldn't buy me the front of the line pass, so because general admission was $50, right?
None of your friends had front line either.
Yeah, none of us had front of the line passes.
Yeah.
So we went off without a hitch. I was shitting bricks, but I couldn't talk. I couldn't stop talking about it. That's all I fucking talked about until the following year, and then the next year came, and the next year, and eventually, you guys started getting dragged
You took
along.
me your very first year.
Did I?
Yes.
So 2009, you went.
Yes. I was in
Wow.
7th grade, and you were like, "Hey, guess where we're going?" I was just like, "We're doing what?" All right.
Yeah, and then we started bringing Ashley along when she was in like the sixth
Sixth
grade.
grade.
Yeah, but anyway, so it
some
started
good
there, dude.
parenting.
Big shout out to my buddy that got me into it. You know what I mean? Because that really sparked.
Kind of like a full
Such a
circle
passion,
for him,
bro.
too.
Yeah.
He worked for Horror Nights for a long time, too. I don't know if
He's still there.
He
Still there.
works, yeah.
So that's kind of a big full circle for
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
too.
So that inspired me anyway to really fall into the Halloween spirit. You know what I mean? I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. And then when I turned 18, well, hold on. Prior to that, I had put on a couple backyard haunts.
Yeah.
That in haunt is like a haunted house. So my buddy and I put on a couple haunts, and they were successful.
Yeah.
It was big, right? And they were like, we could really do this. 18 years old comes around. We sat down with the vice president of the water park that used to be here in Redlands, okay? And the guy said, look, man, we're not ready this year, but I promise you in 1 year's time, I will call you. And we're like, fuck, he's not going to call us, bro. He's not going to call us. He's not going to call us. 1 year came. And guess where I was when we got the phone call? I was at Universal Studios.
That's
I was
crazy.
at Universal Studios when I got the phone call, and my buddy calls and says, "Dude, you're not even gonna believe who just got off the phone with me." I was like, "Who?" And it was the VP of the company that
Wanted
us to do it. Exactly 1 year later.
That's crazy.
So we kicked that off for about 4 or 5 years. I want to say it was called Scream Kingdom, and that was just a whole nother side of horror, dude. The production value, the you know
The building.
the build out, it was just so much work.
I still haven't
Costume
recovered.
design.
What year was that? What did that start?
That started in
2014?
no,
No,
earlier.
before.
Like 12, 13.
10. Let's see. I
I
was.
graduated in
13.
11.
13.
No, it was 12.
I want to say it was
13.
12,
Anyways.
12 we did a
Senior. I
different
was
place.
senior, so 13.
Okay,
12 was when we did
we did that.
Illinois.
You know what I mean? It was great. Brought you guys into it.
Like,
You know what I mean? You guys were part of the whole production value of it.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Insert Andy as a baby clown. We have a picture of that.
Yeah, it's in his room.
yeah,
We should
that's
post
right.
that. We should post
should.
that.
This guy walking around as a little miniature clown, thinking he was cool.
That was so funny.
Little chunky dude.
Great memories
He's
though.
so
He's a big
chunky.
chunky dude.
It's a problem.
Great memories of all that though. You know what I'm saying?
Was it? That's good.
Years later,
still
I want
can't
to say
smell
5 or
Lysol
6
because
years
of you.
later, we've decided at this point, okay, you know what I mean? We've run our course. We just like today, right? You can open a haunt. I can confidently open up a haunt and know it's going to be successful
Yeah.
because now's the time. The trend is hit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I just missed it.
Yeah.
Right.
You were too early.
But that's when you guys came along and you pitched me the idea of, hey, we should try our hand at creating a company. You know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. And I was like, huh.
Was it my idea?
Well,
I'm sorry if it was. Just kidding.
You guys have done it already. You know what I mean? This, and that. And we're like,
We
all
had
right.
the foundation to
Yeah.
do it.
And it was let me tell you though, it was a rough foundation.
It was
I
rough.
just saw pictures.
Yeah.
Very rough foundation. Because when we did it, dude, it wasn't about being cutesy. It was about sell.
It was like
You know?
Swami style.
Yes.
What works
Yes,
than
bro.
that.
And when you girls came in and took over that and rebranded and did all this, I was just like, wait a minute. Maybe we should have done this in other spots. I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
affect our sales because we're doing massive shows.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not the
We
point.
sold out.
That's not the point. You know,
Yeah.
so
Well, we did. Me and Jess helped out with a few of your guys' events while you guys were still Nightmare Productions.
yeah.
You know, we were traveling a little
God,
bit
even to
with
hear
you.
that out loud, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that's his company name, guys. You don't want to say it. It was Nightmare Productions.
Don't say it 3 times.
Ooh. Come bite you. But me and Jess helped out a good amount, you know, and the last few shows, and I think the last show we signed up for under Nightmare Productions got canceled.
Yeah.
And so we had product, but we didn't know what to do with it. And me and Jess like, well, what if we do this, and that? We hated the way they set things up.
Yeah.
They as being Anthony and my dad, you know, we didn't like the way we set things up.
Hated it.
So we went to Kentucky,
Thanks for the vote
and
of confidence.
Kentucky was still under Nightmare Productions. That wasn't
Yeah.
Wicked
Yeah.
Boutique.
No.
No, it wasn't.
And me and Jessica over time were like, this ain't gonna fucking work. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what they have going on, but this is not gonna work. So we kind of, after Kentucky, I think we got back and COVID hit or something, right?
Yeah.
Pretty soon after, yeah.
And COVID hit, we went, and, you know, everything was closed and everyone was home and we were just like bored. So we're just like, I think we could probably rebrand this shit. You know, we can flip it, we can do something. So that's kind of what happened there. But we'll get into that more after we talk about,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the-
No, I mean that
sales.
kind of concludes my thing was that I kind of passed the torch and became more of a background guy, you know, because with Nightmare I was such a front man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but it was more of meetings, you know, where we would go into a meeting with the management and VP, and they wanted out, hey, are we going to be ready? Are we going to have, you know, are a couple things that we would go over were like sales, you know, what kind of advertisement are we plugging in? How are we splitting it? So there was a lot of that for me at such a young age of 19, 18, 20, you know, but fortunately my dad was there for the ride, you know what I'm saying? And my dad has witnessed me being the owner of Nightmare Productions, right? The VP would come to me directly and say, Anthony, how many times did you do that, Anthony? What are we doing about this, and this? Right. And it would be me, my dad, and my partner, Sal. And I'd be like, oh, fuck. Well, you would come to me, dude. You know what I mean? So it taught me a lot of that end of it because it was just a whole different beast.
You know,
A whole different beast.
I'll always go back to, I don't know if you remember, I think it was year 2 of Scream Kingdom. And we were going to have a meeting. And I think this is what you're talking about. And we were in their big room and they had that long table.
Yeah.
And we come in as me, you, and Sal, and I think somebody else went. I can't remember who. And we sat down, and they had like 10 people in there. And, you know, they started going around the room, and I did a lot of the talking because I speak business BS. And then, but the moment he's talking about it is like, the guy's name was Dave. He's like, Anthony, he's pointing right at Anthony. Anthony, you're the owner. What do you think?
Yeah.
I was like, boom, lights on, camera.
Yeah. And again, 19 years old.
And a deer caught in headlight.
And imagine, like the movies, dude, they're in this conference room with a table that's from wall to wall.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
table.
People, all the managers, food and beverage is there, operations. You're like, oh, security, maintenance. You're like, oh shit, dude, you know. And everybody has a question for you. Security. Well, what are we doing for security? What are we doing for preventative maintenance? So this, and this doesn't happen. I know we're shutting down the parking lot. What is that? What's that for the sprinklers? Oh man, everybody has a question, right? But again, being put in that situation, there was a lot. It was a lot. So when you guys came around, it was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? I'll go ahead and start falling
Step
back.
back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And start enjoying Halloween more, enjoying the product, which is what I do now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still do a lot of the talking for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm not the face anymore. I have to put my face out there and say, "Hey, how you doing today? Would you like to buy a shirt?"
It's
You
funny.
know?
It's funny that being you saying that. So a few people like to be like, "Well, where's Anthony? Doesn't take pictures." Like it's mostly you and Jess, you
Yeah.
know. And then I have to be like, "Well, when we started Wicked Boutique, you kind of took the back seat.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
and me and Jess became the faces of Wicked Boutique because
Yep.
we kind of started that new line, you know.
Right,
and,
right.
And you wanted to be more behind the scenes.
Yeah, 100%.
Which you were for a very long time until we started the
Podcasting.
Wicked podcast.
Yeah.
That's when you started being more your faces on our
Yeah.
Instagram. Obviously, all the shows you were there.
Right.
But you're a more set up, help us, you know, lay out
Transportation.
our situations going on, you know, pricing, but you were never like
Business
front and
meetings
center.
on the side.
Right. But you were never front and center.
No.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, where Anthony, like, I was like, Anthony's more, yes, he is a part of Wicked Boutique, same as my dad, same as Andy. But me and Jessica are more like
The face,
faces
yeah.
of it, you know?
No, 100% agree with that. It's not that.
Please explain to the people why you're not in fucking pictures.
Yeah, it's not
You
about.
don't like taking pictures, y'all.
Yeah, that number one. I don't like to be in pictures, guys. Even though we're on camera every week, that's different. But you know, if I can avoid a camera, I will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then again, I chose to take the high road and kind of just work behind the scenes because again, for such a long time, I was the front man. I was the shake the hand.
Yeah.
I was the let's get to this meeting and you know.
I think for me, random thought, like when Nightmare Productions ended, it didn't end on the greatest note.
No.
You know, and I feel like it kind of took a toll on you guys and on your love for Halloween. The passion was kind of gone.
Yeah.
Your light
Yeah.
was kind of dim. And
Yeah.
I think when me and Jessica kind of wanted to take over, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'll stay in the back behind the scenes. I think our biggest goal was to finally be able to prove that we can do it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So when we started that Wicked Boutique journey and we started gaining that traction and the following and
Yeah.
finally you're like, okay, wait, this is actually working, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because unfortunately, like Jessica said, you were too early for the
Right.
Halloween community.
Right.
The Halloween community wasn't big.
No, not
yet.
just that, but the social media wasn't where it
social
is
media,
today.
exactly.
You know.
So I think that
To-
kind
to-
of
To expand upon the social media, I'll never forget. We filmed a TV commercial for our event
That's right.
because that's how far
you're on the radio.
we're on the radio. We were doing ticket giveaways. Well, you know,
Yeah.
K Frog and 99.1 and all
Uh-huh.
those radio stations, and you know, so that advertising was just different. Social media hadn't hit. Facebook was starting to
Yeah.
come into, I don't know,
Being
kind
popular.
of biggish.
Right.
Right.
You know,
It was
But-
the main form of communication.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing is when we started Wicked Boutique, we started getting that traction. I think it got more exciting because we were doing more sales and better, media than Nightmare Productions was because
Yeah.
it was a different time. So that was just random. That
No, it's a great point.
I can name Ashley's favorite Nightmare Productions day,
What's that? Lysol days?
the Becky G concert.
Oh,
yeah,
there's little perks here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before
I didn't know what the hell we were
Becky
doing there.
G was Becky G.
We were selling tickets.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we set up our booth and we were selling tickets for
Scream
October.
Kingdom,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, I've been working since I was 13, guys. Honestly, I don't even know if that's legal.
It was so funny because we got there the same time she got there, and we got out the car at the same time, and Ashley's like, "That's her right there." I was like, "That's who?"
And I was like, what the hell? That's Becky G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was about 3
She was
foot
new.
8. Yeah.
She was very new.
very young.
Well, like I said, she was Becky G, but she wasn't fucking Becky G.
No.
Coachella, you know what I mean?
Right.
She was singing in the shower.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That song came on, and over there, everybody was like, "Eh."
Uh-huh.
I was
It was
front and center.
packed. It was packed.
It was
It
stupid,
was you and
bro.
PC, huh?
Yeah.
It was
Ashley's
nuts.
friend, you know.
But anyway, getting back to it, guys, that's kind of how my passion all sparked from the age, of, I don't know how old I was, but it was 2009 to now. It's been a long time. I've been in the industry for a long time. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So to be able to take a backseat is kind of great.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it at all. But, with the again, I am still very much so a part of every move that this company makes. Trust me, there was some input on my end. You know what I mean?
It's team effort.
And again, I think the spark, the passion just comes from when we were kids. All of us sitting there watching sci-fi with our mom. We bring that story up all the time, but that's the truth. On Sundays, that's what we did.
Pizza and
Yep.
TV all
We
day.
sat around, put channel, I think it was 59 at the
So,
time.
yeah.
59, and it was sci-fi. Lake Placid, Route 666. You know what I mean? Alien.
Bats.
Bats.
Rats.
Yeah, dude.
Signs.
Slice.
Signs. All those movies that my mom, and she wouldn't force us, but there we were like,
We're watching it with her.
Watching it with her.
X Factor.
X Factor.
The nasty stuff, you know.
Most haunted places on
oh,
Earth.
Yeah, and that
Oh
kind
no, it
of
was
formed into
scariest places on earth.
Scariest
and that
places
kind
on
of
Earth.
formed into fuck, what's that
Ghost
show?
Adventures.
No, before that,
Ghost
Ghost
Hunters.
Ghost Hunters.
Ghost
and-
Hunters, then Ghost Hunters International.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I
then
mean?
the one with Tracy Morgan,
Uh,
where they would prank people,
yeah,
scaring
Scare,
them.
Fear Factor.
That
No.
one, and
No?
then
that's with Joe Rogan.
Oh, okay, shit, I don't know.
fuck, I can't
Scare
remember.
Tactics.
Scare
Tactics. It came up tradition, kind of like
Yeah.
watching these shows
Yeah.
every weekend.
A
And it
big
was fun.
tradition. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
were
did it a
always
lot, bro.
watching it. Yeah,
We were
Like,
always
we
on
gotta
that
watch my
shit.
show. We gotta
Yeah.
watch our show.
And
Show's
you know
on.
what's? I miss commercials. Let me tell you why. His commercial would go hit the restroom. I'm gonna get something to drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get a snack. Boom, back
You
on.
got
the,
5 minutes.
Get your spot on the bed or wherever the hell you were at that time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And, you know, again, a lot of this. My mom's not in front of the public eye a lot, but she's a big part of why we're in this industry. Even
Yeah.
though it wasn't intentional, it's just something. Oh, hey, we're doing it again. We're doing it again. You know, all of a sudden, oh, now we're going to theme parks. We're going to Horror Nights. Oh man, you go to Horror Nights, it sparked.
yeah.
It sparked. You
It
know,
connected.
so
You know, going
immediately.
back to Horror Nights, I'll never forget because I'd never been to Horror Nights. Because
Yeah.
I am the definition of scared cat.
chicken shit.
Yeah.
Yep. That's weird coming from somebody who's actually put the blood, sweat, and tears to build mazes. But I remember he would go and like, you gotta come one time and just see the detail and
The quality.
you know, because we're building mazes at the time. So it's like, yeah, I know, but we don't have the budget they have. You know,
Yeah.
Our shit look good, but you know, obviously you're not gonna compete with a Universal Studio,
Right.
Yeah,
you know,
you're not gonna
unlimited
compete with
money.
that budget, you know.
Right.
But I used to get those phone calls all the time. You gotta fucking come look at this shit. You know, it's fucking this and that and this and that.
I mean,
you know?
it's still unhinged, dude. You know what I mean? There's so much complaining and bitching that goes into like, you know, well, John didn't do this year, but dude,
Give it a try.
brother, let me tell you something.
It's hard.
It's hard. You know what I mean? I think this will be the turning point for Horror Nights this year, though.
I think
Think
so
so?
too.
Yeah, but anyway, you guys kind of dip into what sparked your interest into the industry and how that's been kept alive. You know, because I don't care what anybody says. Once you start a business into something, a great friend of mine, his hobby, he's turned it into a business. His fear now is that it feels like a job,
Yeah.
a business. So for us, for example, how do we keep that fresh? How do you keep business aside from our passion? You know, because at the end of the day, Halloween, the season of it, the aesthetic is 365. You know, for some of us a little less because I like, you know, my cowboy boots and stuff like that too. But how you know, talk about how you came into it and how you keep it a passion for so long. And do you think you're going to continue with it? You know, you're only 27, 26, somewhere around there. So it's like, do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, yeah, I still love this.
Yeah.
She's wearing she's wearing some big ass Doc Martens right now. You know what I mean? So,
What are you wearing?
yeah, right about that. Why you gotta bring me up, dog?
He has his toes out.
No, I do not. I got my Crocs with my gibbets of Frank Dracula. You know what I mean?
I mean, well, that's like 4 questions, dog.
Okay.
I know, he just asked like 5, 6
What
questions.
sparked beside and try to avoid, you know, me? What's really sparked your interest into Halloween? Can you even remember or go far that back?
For
Halloween
me, it's
Town.
different. I think it's harder to answer without being like saying you guys kind of sparked it because was the one of the
Yeah, you're
youngest,
the
me and
youngest.
Angie. So I saw you and Jess were really into it.
Yeah.
But before that, I always really enjoyed. Okay, I was a Disney Channel kid. I
Yeah.
watched Disney Channel. So when Disney converted to October, and they made it a big deal, and the theme of the Disney Channel looked spooky and purple and bats and
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
Halloween
It's the
movies.
aesthetic, bro.
That aesthetic, I fell in love with the aesthetic of
Yeah.
it. So one of my favorite movies ever, well, 2 of my favorite movies is Halloween Town and Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. And I still watch them every year, you know, to this day. And I remember being so obsessed with being a witch and having a wand, even like Wizards of Waverly Place. I wanted to be that so bad. And I think I kind of took it too far. You know what I'm saying? I didn't draw the line anywhere. Parents were very supportive, too supportive. But that kind of sparked my interest. Is I always would get so freaking excited when Spooktober would come around for
Yeah.
Disney Channel and the
Yeah.
lightning and the bats. Can you stop being rude?
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. Bless you.
Thank you.
And I would just get so hyped, and I would sit there and watch Twitches and
Yeah.
Halloween Town,
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus. I think that is Disney Channel, wasn't it?
Yep.
Hocus Pocus. What is it? My mom's dating a vampire.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
all of those movies. I'd just sit there all day watching it. Well, whatever we're allowed, you know.
Yeah.
So that kind of sparked my interest, and then
So the aesthetic is what kind of got you.
yeah,
and
I
grabbed
loved
you.
the aesthetic. I loved the vibe. I loved
Yeah.
the feeling, you know, of the excitement. Like
I know exactly what
"Oh
you're talking
my
about,
God,
dude.
Like what's next?
For me, and this is gonna sound like a fat boy thing, you know, but when the orange Oreos would hit the fucking shelves, bro, you're like, oh, it's on, dude.
It's on and cracking.
You start to walk into grocery stores and you see pumpkins and oh, dude, till this day, the best feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you see pumpkins hitting, like I don't give a damn. I'll go to Michael's because I know that in July they'll have Halloween shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because and I'll be like, yep, it's time.
Yep.
Because that's
July
how we are.
5th, it's go time.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Obviously, when I was younger, it was just an October thing.
Yeah.
You know, and then it
Once you
started-
realize, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't got to be in October only.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I started to realize that it doesn't have to be an October thing only when I hit middle school, probably like 7th grade when you took me to Horror Nights,
Yeah.
6th grade, and again seeing you guys were more into the emo aesthetic and Green Day and Slipknot
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
getting everything skulls on it, and I was like, okay, I fell into the same footprints. I
Right.
wanted to be like you guys, obviously.
Right.
And then me and you have a pretty big age gap. So you started your company. I was still what,
Middle school.
8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah.
So I was pretty young. So I was introduced to it fairly young. You
Yeah,
know. So
yeah.
I guess you could say I've been kind of like into it more longer than you.
Oh, 100%. You were very young when
Very
I
young.
introduced
So
it.
I was already working for your company and around Halloween.
and when we mean working,
costume.
guys, is these girls were working.
Yeah.
You
Working.
know, I was like, hey, grab the list.
Slaving.
Who was in
Yeah.
charge of costumes? Me at
Yes.
14. Okay,
Yeah.
making sure everything was turned in.
Mind you, and we had probably about 30 to 40 performers a night.
Uh-huh.
And every performer had either a mask, pants, some type of
Some
costume.
performers had a whole get up with shoes involved, and I
Yeah.
had to make sure everything was there, and I'd chase people down like, you can't take that home.
Yeah, chainsaws. You know what I mean? God, it was work.
And you
Yeah.
know who they had to report to? Me and Jess. Not
Yeah.
mostly me. Jess worked more like sounds and
Jess actually worked inside the mazes behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
She was in charge of sound and lighting and yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my introduction to it, you know? Like,
Interesting.
I
So it
kind of
sounds
just
forced.
fell in love
I'm
with
sorry.
it. I kind of got it shoved down my throat and just dealt with it.
No,
you
because
know?
you took it and you ran with it.
I
Once
started
you
to-
grasped
yeah.
to it,
Once you
it's-
found
and
something
I always
that you
say this
love,
because everybody asks, all three you guys love this Halloween. Yeah, but we're all three different.
different styles.
We
different
all have
types.
such different styles and types of Halloween
Mm-hmm.
that we enjoy, but it's a common ground that we're
Yeah.
able to make it work, right?
Yeah.
You're super still the Disney aesthetic theme, and not necessarily Disney per se, but like the cutesy, you know what I mean, orange and black vintage.
Vintage
You know what I
Disney.
mean?
Or
That
vintage
is
Halloween.
Ashley. You see that and you're like, Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's what separates us.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I
wasn't
mean?
like a horror movie that sparked me.
I was more into the slasher.
Yeah.
You know, I was more into the you know, like Green Day. You know what I mean? Slipknot. You know what I'm saying? So a little more on the heavier side, I guess. To
Yeah.
Freddy.
say. Yeah, that was my thing. You know, because again, there was no Insidious and all these things yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really I was a big slasher fan.
Yeah.
You know, but that's a good way to get hooked to the season there. Jess, what was your kind of first experience and how this kind of nipped you in the ass to keep going?
Honestly, mine would be movies. I love watching the Halloween movies, and you guys all already know that because I've watched more movies than all of you guys.
You know
Yeah.
that because he dominates the movie games.
Yeah.
Just sitting there watching movies with mom, even when you guys weren't there, you guys would be like, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I would watch literally all these movies with her. And then from there, I was just like, oh, okay, like, I think I like this. Like, I think I could keep this up. Like, I'm not that scared.
Right.
And then Halloween time would come around. We would dress up. My mom wanted me to be these stupid little girly costumes. I'm like, I want to be a skeleton. I want to
Yeah.
do this. And I was a skeleton one time. She actually let me be a skeleton one time. And Anthony, he did not want to go up to the doors.
Nope.
He was scared, even though there was a lot of us walking. He was just scared and just like going. When you can see Halloween out in public, like at McDonald's, they had the little buckets, or every fast food place had Halloween toys. You're just like, I want that.
Yeah.
And it just kept going as I was getting older. Like, I could watch these movies that I technically wasn't allowed to watch, but I watched them.
I remember when Rated R was like, ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
You're gonna
How,
watch
you couldn't
that?
go into the theater. Like,
You're gonna watch that.
Is your mom here? Yes, she's right. She bought me my ticket.
Yeah. I remember when that used to be a fucking thing.
Right? It was a huge thing back
Censorship.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still
But,
there.
like, it just kept building. And then, like, Nightmare Before Christmas, I finally watched that movie. Fell in love with that movie. I love that movie to this day. Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus, just Disney Channel in general for Halloween, same as Ash. But then it expanded to, oh no, I only not like sci-fi, slashers, ghosts. What I ended up liking everything when it came to the
Donna.
movies. Jaws, Deep Blue Sea. I love that movie.
yours was definitely more movie aspect.
It was for
I think
sure
though
more
too.
movies.
You guys are closer in age, like what,
Yeah.
2.5 years or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
3, yeah.
3. The fuck, he's old. So as Anthony was dragging you along,
Anthony
or
was
you're
ki-
taking your sister
kind of-
type thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
see-
Okay, see, Horror Nights. He took me with him his very first year. Mind you, I was in, like, 7th grade. I was just like, I was looking at my parents like, you're going to let me go with them
Yeah.
to this? I think our aunt came with us too, right? Like,
I don't
forgot.
remember if it was the first or second year.
I don't remember.
The first
That-
year we dropped you off. We took you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
that's
see? That
right.
was so long ago.
few years. You
Yeah.
Yep.
So
We went to dinner on the.
after
Yeah.
that first time seeing The Mazes 2, I was just like, this is sick. I feel like I'm in a movie,
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting scared. Obviously, I'm not dying.
Dude,
but, like, it was just like
not
that.
to cut you off. I remember the first year I was going to Horror Nights. I thought about my outfit so hard. Mm-hmm. I overthought it. I made my mom take me to Walmart to buy a black T-shirt because I wanted to blend in.
She was so
because I was
scared.
so scared I was gonna get singled out. So I made my mom buy me a black shirt,
Mm-hmm.
and like I wore like black shoes and jeans because I didn't want to be noticed.
And no, and that's
And now-
true. And that's true.
And now it's the only color she has.
And now it's only, yep.
Now you begging to get noticed. Like, oh, come get me.
I know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
scare me. Right. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so I
just
guess I
gotta
would
look
say
scared.
like I'm the nerdy one
For
when
sure.
it comes to the Halloween stuff, but not too nerdy, guys. Don't come up to me and be like, "Oh, I don't know." I'm
No,
not
no,
like
no,
that,
no.
you know?
You're more in the aspect of you really pay attention during the film.
Yeah, like
Because the movie until this day, I'd be like,
I don't get it.
just like, you didn't get that? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fuck
You
no.
didn't get that
Because you're
reference?
freaking,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
freaking dummy.
lost.
were you paying attention?
Yeah, I'm lost now, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, definitely, you're definitely more on that
Nerdy
technical
side.
aspect of things, you know?
Yeah, and that I feel like get that from my dad too, because Dad loves Star Wars. I love Star Wars. It's not just horror. I love Marvel. I love Disney. I'm a Disney adult. Said this already.
Yeah.
Like
There's the movie buff.
I used to be a
movie
really
buff,
big Disney
you
adult,
know.
too.
Yeah, Anthony used to be, and then he had kids, so
And then the payments went up.
yeah.
Oh, that hurt
literally.
really bad.
So and then again, Anthony started his stupid little business, and look, we're still going. Like, goddamn.
yeah.
So
It's all your fault.
I
Yeah.
really hope it works one day. If not, it's all on my fault.
Yeah.
My back still hurts from those days.
You know, and it's all been a great ride, man. It's been for me over, 14 years now doing this. And it's been quite the hell of a ride. I don't regret anything I've done, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But anyway, going into Wicked Boutique, so that's kind of how Wicked Boutique started from year 1 to year 5. Did you really ever expect to be where we're at today?
No.
No.
You know what I mean? With the whole following thing, the social media.
Nope.
The way we even, and I'm so thankful, bro. You don't understand because my company was never to that level
Yeah.
of what Wicked Boutique is today, right? To where you show up to shows and people are looking for you.
Yeah.
You have your customer base, right? Midsummer was such a great example of that. And that's why, I love that show. You know what I mean? So much because I think it's not the first time, but it was the first time I seen that many people be like, I was looking for this booth.
Yeah.
I've been looking for this booth. You know what I mean? And that right there hits a sweet spot. You know what I'm saying? It hits that sweet spot. And you're like, oh yeah,
People
that's
like
what we're
it.
doing.
I still remember like seeing our shirts for the first time in public, and we're just like,
Yeah.
"That's us.
Yeah, yeah.
That's us."
Yeah.
It's just a good feeling.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know what? It's funny because I still get like that.
Oh,
I'm just like,
100%.
oh, crap, that's my shirt.
100%.
You get giddy. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You
like,
know.
hey.
And it's funny because like I get like that for our friends too. I'm like, oh my god,
Right.
I know them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Little did they know that I know them, you know. But in my head, I'm just like, I know them. You don't
Yep.
even know.
No, like I said, the community is such a tight knit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but you know, I'm gonna go ahead and take credit again for starting up this whole Wicked
Jesus.
Boutique thing.
Well, I'll take credit for having the most popular design.
Oh
Oh
my.
Lord Jesus!
I'll take credit for just, being me.
Sit there and tell me that I don't. You
Oh
can't exactly.
Lord!
You
You
can't.
can all take credit for my back pain.
Anyways, moving along here, guys. I wanted to take the time before we continue and thank all of the vendors that had that, going back to Wicked After Dark real quick, because the Wicked After Dark was born after Wicked Boutique,
Yeah.
I want to say 3 years in to Wicked Boutique. That's when Wicked After Dark was born.
2 years in.
2 years in to kind of correspond with it. And I really wanted to take the time and thank every single vendor that has participated and
That's a lot.
been on our podcast and shared their story, because again, that just means everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Should I name them off?
It's gonna take a while, but sure, if you want.
Do it graduation style.
Oh man.
Should we or no? We got 27 vendors that have been on.
Well,
Give or
25.
take.
It's
Some of
been
them aren't vendors. Some of them are like me.
Some of them, like our
Mom.
family's been on, and our
That's
first
right.
ever guest was our Abuelita Herbals, which is our tia.
That's right.
And she kind of kicked it off for us and helped us get comfortable with the practicing
Right,
of answering
right.
and giving questions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, from her to who was the last one on this list? Little Q Horror Creations. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
I can't even remember half the conversations. That's sad because we've had so many conversations. You
Right, right.
know? But yeah.
And great conversations.
I mean,
I'll just
yeah.
start reading some of the names off of here. So, our first guest are these in order?
Mostly.
Okay, so our Aunt Abuelita Herbals kicked it off for us, kind of started getting us comfortable. 2 was Isvi Creations. You know what I mean? Another set of individuals that really helped us out, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're kind of like us. We related a lot with them. Horsed around a lot. Coming in at 3 was Le Bonite by Beatrice. And my buddy Jose. Everybody knows me. I'm always with Jose. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At his booth. And
Jose
they sell
literally brings a chair for Anthony.
Yep, they bring their custom Disney ears. You know what I mean? They were a great conversation.
Yeah.
4 was Art Sideshow. Art Sideshow was terrified. Art was terrified to do the
Yeah.
podcast. I'll never forget that. He's like, "Oh, you want me to be on it?" I said, "Oh yeah, man." You know what I mean? Because we're promoting his business.
Yeah.
And again, super excited for what's to come for them. You know what I mean? So we had Art Sideshow. We had John Mazzari, you know what I mean, which was the composer for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He actually crashed the podcast during our first ever
Wicked
Wicked
Fest.
Fest.
Yeah, that was funny.
So that will forever be iconic.
Yeah.
And he actually gave us compliments on our sound, on the way everything's was looking.
Setup.
You know what I mean? The setup, he enjoyed, and it means a lot coming from a guy that's what he does. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for real.
Let's see here. We had Roasted Dead Coffee, which is in the city of Yucaipa as well. Rattlehead
Riverside
Crafts was on, again, just picking her brain and how she got started, because she also has a great following.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sammy Ruiz, great artist, man. Love his artwork. He's actually designed a couple of our T-shirt designs for us. So shout out to him, man. And again, that was a great conversation. You know what I mean? Kind of picking his brain on art and
where he
and where he started.
yeah.
That's right. The Spooky Professor. I think that was the first time we had a cosplayer on.
Yeah.
So she did that. And we shot it at Art Sideshow.
Yeah.
In
That
costume.
was a great episode to
It
pick
was, yeah.
her brain and kind of how she's able to switch on and off the persona of cosplay and professional life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an outlet, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you learn a lot from these
She
individuals,
was in.
man.
She was in costume for that.
Yep.
We had our buddy. He goes by Skate. But this kid worked for me for a long time. His name is Patrick.
Yeah.
We met him when he was probably 14, 15 years old, man. Worked for me for a long time.
Great scare
He's like
actor.
family, man. You know, now he's this big TikTok social media sensation.
Acts like you don't
Good
know
for
it.
him. Good for
That's a
him,
lie.
man.
Don't call, no right.
He still talks a lot with us, you know what I mean? But great for him because, you know, I always respect the kids. He told me he will never work a real job.
Yep. And
Look at him, and he's doing it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So shout out to him, man. Save the Pandas, Rick over there, dude. You know, his interview was great.
Yeah.
And to pick his brain because he's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Art, drawing, traveling. Dude, we get some products through them. You know what I mean? So that was another great conversation. Somebody's gonna have to pick this up soon because my voice is tired. We had another episode with our mom and Abuelita Herbals to kind of help her feel comfortable. My mom, guys, is very shy.
Yeah.
She's a very shy woman,
Yeah.
dude. To us, she's not.
Yeah,
Right.
she's mean
To
to
us,
us,
she's
you know.
not. She will tell you to, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
You know what
But
I
on
mean.
camera,
You know
she
what
was
I'm saying.
shitting brick. So we had my aunt help her out and
They were
kinda
telling
get her side of the story.
Some of their ghost stories when they were kids. That one was always. That
Right.
one was crazy.
Right, yeah. They have some crazy ass things. Right after that, we had our good friends Monster Posse. You know, that was another great episode because, again, a lot of people know who Monster Posse is. So it was really interesting to see how they started, where they're at, and to see it really, and everybody that came on was so nice and humble, and
Yeah.
nobody was on like, oh yeah, I'm this big shit, because you know what I mean. There's vendors out there that have the following, dude. You know,
Yeah.
and nobody acted like that.
Yeah,
you know.
for
So let me
sure.
just put that out there now. But that was a great conversation on how they started and where they were at the time. You know what I mean. Going into Danny's Spooky Treats, another great topic. You know, she's just full of energy. You know what I mean? Her and her husband came on and explained the
whole
background of their
candy, yeah.
candy, which is a great story. Great story. Great, you know, I mean, the candy's delicious. They have a
Yeah.
lot to offer.
Yeah.
But again, I think my favorite part is the story behind the candy and how how it's made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a really good talk. And it's crazy because, again, this is all stuff we're learning as the podcast is going on.
Yeah.
You know, spreading that knowledge into the fan base.
Yeah.
Right after that, we had Luna Cloth, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Luna Cloth, again, another great conversation. And all the stuff that she's come such a long way now because she's actually doing embroidery on her own stuff now. You know what I mean? Right after her, we had our social media person, Jessica's fiance, Katie Keogh. You know, trying to pick her brain
Katie Keogh for right now.
she was on fire, getting viral videos going.
Yeah, she was.
You know what
she
I
was
mean?
trying to explain to us social media, but we still don't understand it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard, dude.
yeah.
It's the science.
You know,
Yeah.
it's definitely a science. That was right after her was our first ever vlog at the Prospect Park. It was a ghost hunt. That was scary as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Definitely.
That's where we
Definitely,
caught voices on the recorder, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Jeez,
Yep.
yep.
So that was a fun night.
Yep.
We then had Toxic Doom Studios on. You know what I mean? They're actually local as well, so it was good to talk to them.
Yeah.
And they're very new, big fans of the podcast.
Yeah.
I enjoy their company. I enjoy talking to them. I enjoy their
Toxic
support.
Doom, you know, Jackie and them over there,
Mm-hmm.
they were big supporters of us too when we first started.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like with our merch, and I remember one time, I don't know what event we're at, and they came up to the booth with one of our OG coupons. Okay, you remember
Like
our old coupons
old,
Yeah.
that we used to
old.
print out on cardstock and we would cut out by hand.
Yep. And they would ship with an order.
Yes, and they would come and they're like, "Is this still valid?"
Hell yeah.
I'm like, "There's no expiration on it, so yeah." That
That's
shit was
awesome
so
though. You know what I
funny.
mean? Again, just the fact, you know what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
they held on to something like
Yeah.
that. It's just an amazing thing, dude.
Yeah.
Big shout out to them, man, and their company. You know what I mean? Their
very-
company's doing
doing
great.
well.
Love their designs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They definitely took a whole different approach. Man, yeah, good stuff, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right after them, we had Gabriel Olvera, Gabe, Ashley's husband. Picked his brain because he's like our number
Number
one
one
listener,
listener.
bro.
Slash
He
critic.
listens to
Yeah.
everything, dude. So good conversation.
You remember how Dad used to school us after a game? Like, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's me after the podcast. You know that? Like he's always like, next time, babe, you should do this instead of that. And I'm just like, oh, it's never good enough.
You're just
yeah.
like, all right, yeah, Dad, my bad, man.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
But I mean, hey, I'm sure he has a lot of input. There's a lot that he's heard.
Yeah.
We went right into Lucky Hellcat after that.
That one was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good episode, man. That was a good episode.
We
Again,
could probably do 10 with her.
Yeah,
For
she's
sure.
another ball of energy, dude. Her
Oh,
husband
she's
too.
been around. She's been doing it for years.
Yes,
Years.
yes, good, enjoyable presence. LPS, you know what I mean? Love Paint and Stitches, one of the most popular bags in the industry, man. That was a big episode for
Yeah.
us. It was a fun episode, and realistically, the way that Kenny, the owner of LPS, was able to express himself and really put the story out there on how it all became.
Yeah.
Amazing job, you know what I mean? Amazing, good conversation. We
We're
had
the first podcast he did too. By the way,
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
That's
I
right.
take
She's
pride
all
in
like,
that.
I'm
That's
taking
right.
pride in that. You
I'm
know what I
take
mean?
pride in that.
No, that was a good one, man. Appreciate them. Creep Cake was right behind them. You know what I mean? Real good friends with Monster Posse and them. Love his setup, dude. Again, another great conversation. He also listens to the podcast, so shout out to him, dude. Appreciate that. Let's see
had our
here.
cousins on
We did
after
have our
that.
cousins, Lizette and Bella. We had a ghost stories conversation
Yeah.
because they've been through a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? They've lived in haunted houses. You know, so they had a lot to share with us that night. Spooky shit right there, dude.
Yeah.
Then we went straight into our dad.
Jimbo.
Had his story.
Well, we didn't have
Below.
content, so we had to bring our dad on.
That's right. We're like, oh, somebody canceled Dad. Come on, you're in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, but again, another great storyteller there. So
You,
We
if
went
you know
right
him,
into-
You know he could talk.
right into Grim Girl.
Yes.
Okay, again, she's more on the Disney side of things, on the cutesy, spooky side.
Love it,
Which is a
love her
great
stuff.
side because we're always there
Yep.
trying to get her merch. You know,
Yep.
she does bags now.
Run into her Disney a couple times.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've actually seen her at Disney. You know, we've done a couple of her events at her old
I've
store.
gone to Disney with her, all right?
Yeah. We went right into
Ray.
Ray
That's the homie
Paez.
right
Shout
there,
out
Ray.
to Ray, man. Some of our designs actually come from Ray.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Actually, this one, I'm wearing it right
He
now.
is actually will be taking on some big projects for us here soon.
Yep.
So very excited, and that was a great conversation with Ray because he's knowledgeable on the movies and stuff. And it
I
was
love
just
talking to Ray. We
a
could talk
good
for
one,
hours if
dude.
we could.
We then had our good friends, Little Cute Horror Creations.
Oh my God.
Gabe and Paula, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, man, the funniest individuals ever.
Ever,
Good conversation. Doesn't matter where we're at, man.
Yeah.
Good people, dude. I love his boxes. He's done me a couple custom stuff for my son. You know what I mean? So big shout out to them. I think we had him on twice, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Did we? I thought it was
Maybe.
once.
I'm not sure, but
There's a couple people we've had on.
yeah,
Yeah.
just a good conversation to have, dude. And last but not least, guys, Wizards and Wires. I believe we didn't have anybody on for that.
No, but we did two vlogs
But we
from
did
there.
2 vlogs because they were very generous and invited us into their facility to try to do their escape room, which we accomplished. You know,
Both.
the second paranormal was very scary. That was another good one.
Extremely scary.
That was a good one. Go watch that one if you want to see Ashley scream and jump.
and run.
Yeah, that one was spooky as hell, bro. Super spooky. But that's gonna be everybody that participated, man. You know what I mean? And again, just thank you so much to all you guys for
That was all
helping
in
out,
one
dude.
season. I
Yeah.
think.
That was
Yeah,
two,
it
two
was.
seasons.
Oh,
two
okay.
seasons.
You know, and that goes a long way, dude. I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? The conversations that we had, the guts it takes to get up here and actually do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know, and guys, we're gonna continue to try to do this again. This isn't over. This was probably some of the best podcasts that we were able to release was when we had all these guests on. Again, picking their brains on the industry, on what exactly they do and how they view it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So now my voice is done.
It's all dry.
Yeah.
Sound like me.
Well, sip some water. We're not done. But yeah, at the Evolution line, what came next was Wicked Tacos.
That's right.
No.
No,
Wicked
Wicked
Fest.
Fest.
Wicked
Sorry.
Fest.
Wicked
Oh.
Fest. We do talk about it a lot, though. So I feel like they know.
Hey, everybody's like,
Everybody
oh
knows.
shit,
We fucking
here we go.
skip. No. When then we started doing Wicked Fest.
Wicked Fest was definitely, guys, something that's grown onto us, though. That's what I want everybody to understand. Wicked Fest is something that's been very important to us because, again, we wanted to create an environment for our vendors to be able to sell their products directly to people who are there for
Them.
them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing else but them to buy your products from.
Yeah.
And at the time when we started, I know we were driving out west a lot, so we're like, yeah, we need to bring this home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We need to prove that hey, there's people that want to spend money here in the IE, guys. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just, dude, very grateful to have started the way we did. You know what I mean? To break off and start into start in San Bernardino. And let me tell you a quick story on that. I actually had a newspaper call me
Yeah.
and ask me why San Bernardino. She's telling me that why San Bernardino with all the crime, with the she was sending me all kinds of numbers, dude. And I said simple. It's our hometown, baby. You know what I mean? We're not from San Bernardino, but we grew up in the town right next to it. We have friends, family that live there. It was like, why
Yeah.
not?
Right.
You know what I mean? And very thankful that we were able to pull it off there. The amount of love that showed up for that year one was immense. You know what I'm saying? So
Sorry for the heat.
yeah, that really kicked it off for us though, bro.
Yeah.
So now Wicked Fest is like one of those things we hold near and dear to our heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
100%.
think it's weird to think about, success for people means different to many people,
Right.
the definition. And the fact that there's anyone who's willing to show up for our events, the fact that there's anyone willing to listen to us, shop from us, spend their hard-earned money with us, and want to just have a conversation with us, that right there means the world to me,
Damn, that was deep.
And
That was deep.
yeah, in my head, I've made it, because we're doing what we want to do, and we're entertaining people, and it's working, and I don't know, sometimes we could be a little ungrateful,
Right.
And
You
put
know-
ourselves down, kick ourselves over, but when you step back and look at it, it's like, damn.
You know that, and great. I'm so happy you brought that up because early on there were shows that we would do and be like, "Damn, we only made $400-500."
Yeah.
But listen to what you just said.
Yeah.
You made $400-500 in 4 hours, 5 hours, off stuff that us have created.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So there was that time period where we had to learn, you know what I mean, to be more appreciative
Yeah.
of what was going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we learned that very quickly. And even there was times where like, well, we didn't make much money, but the experience, the communication you were to make with certain individuals, right? The conversations are almost damn near just as important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we all know that firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we
so-
were taught that firsthand. Like, Dad, I was always preaching, business relationships.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, sometimes it doesn't always work out.
Right.
Those relationships. And then that's when you go back to like, that's your fault. I'm getting butthurt, Dad, because I want to be friends with everyone. and that's another thing, guys. At the end of the day, sad to say it, not everyone's your friend. You
Right.
know, and that's okay. That's okay. Not everyone's gonna like you. Not everyone's gonna enjoy your product. Not everyone's gonna want to be your friend, and that's okay.
That's business.
It's business. It's the way the world works.
Fortunately,
you know?
though, for us, we've been very fortunate and very lucky to have a lot of friends, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That have been by our side
Yeah.
and rode these same roller coasters. We all waited in line for the same coaster
Yeah.
when it was on the way down. You know what I mean? So
I think another thing I wanted to mention was when we first started Wicked Boutique, I remember me and Jess, and we wanted it so bad. Okay, like we wanted our following to grow. We wanted to get approved for an event because in the beginning we couldn't get freaking approved for
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's because we were still applying under Nightmare or something. And we just wanted to be approved so bad. We wanted to event. We wanted to be a part of that community.
yeah.
So
It's
bad.
more than our next breath, okay? Because
Yeah.
I remember we went to the Creep IE, I've spoke on it before, the Flea Punk Festival, and me and Jess went, and we're like, dude, we want to do it so bad. Like, we want to set up a booth, and we want to sell our shirts and, our items, because it was a boutique, and we just, like, now that you have it, it's kind of like we took on a lot in the
Yeah.
beginning, and we kind of did burn ourselves out a little bit because we were working our asses off, show after show after show. That first year we did every weekend we were doing
We
something
took like 3 weekends off in the year.
in the year. Okay,
year.
and we went hard. And
Mind
then-
you guys, just because we're going to them, that means printing That means, making product. Because at the time, Jess was still making our stickers.
She was doing our
by,
stickers, our
you know,
vinyl.
Oh my
We were
gosh.
printing, and I was pulling inventory, like numbers of inventory. I was
Yeah.
counting inventories. I was
Yeah.
ordering every other day, and I remember my mom, living room being covered in blank T-shirts and everywhere, and I just remember it being crazy, dude. And I'm so grateful for that. If we can get back to there one day.
Right?
Yeah, for real.
But-
You're like the glory days.
Yeah, and that core memory of you guys in the garage for hours on hours and overnighters and getting stuff printed to get it shipped
Yeah.
and buckets of poly mailers going
Yeah.
out and orders. It was just nuts, and from us from day one wanting to have that so bad, and finally having it, it was kind of like whoa.
It's kind of like that full circle moment.
Yeah.
But it's like, where do you go now? You've
Right.
achieved that level of, I'm getting into these shows. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, guys. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm doing it.
Right.
But now what?
Right, and
How
that's
do
the
you
hardest part.
continue to raise that bar for yourself, for your customers, for your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For everybody. How do you continue to raise that bar?
And the keep going
That's right.
mentality is hard.
That's right.
Because there's times where you're like, fuck this,
Yep.
I haven't made money and nothing's selling and nothing's sticking. And that's the hard part is to keep going.
Yep.
Keep
Keep
trying
driving,
to
dude.
find that product that's going to stick.
That's where your passion and your love for this kicks in, and it has to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. If not, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, dude. A lot of people will do what they have to do to keep a paycheck because you got to keep the bills
Yeah.
paid, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
It is. It even makes me sad that people have to do it because, like I said last week, these is people. This is people's dreams
Yeah.
and passions that unfortunately didn't get to see it through because you have to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to live. You know what I mean? So for us to be here at year number 5, 100 episodes deep, still chugging along, still booking events, blessing. And I will never, ever complain about that because we're very fortunate to be able to do that, man. You know what I mean? To be able to continue that and have these conversations and shoot the next podcast and book the next event and talk about our next product. We're able to do that.
Right.
Have the
You
next
know.
Wicked Fest.
Plan the next Wicked Fest to the best of its ability, mind you. So there's just a lot, man.
Yeah.
There's just a lot. So
And then we went into Wicked Tacos.
that's right. Real quickly, Wicked Tacos was born.
Yeah.
That was a great turn of events.
Because
You know what
we
I
were
mean?
like, you know what? Let's just do that too. Why
Yeah.
not?
Why not? Let's just
add
it
that.
to it.
Let's
And
add
let
it
me
to
tell
the
you
list.
something. It was not a bad idea.
No, absolutely not. But let me tell you, that amount of work that takes is nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces for that, dude.
Well, Wicked Taco. Well, you guys had, my dad had a Wicked Taco company for years before
Yeah.
that. It was obviously not called Wicked Tacos.
Right.
But we still dabbled in it here and there. He would book a few things, but it wasn't really that serious. And then finally, there's one year we threw 2 events. It was called Market of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Just
Hey,
kidding.
hey, Pooch.
Just kidding.
You never know.
Or am I kidding? Who
Never
knows?
say never.
Never say never. Market of the Monsters was a March event that we wanted to try to throw. It was a smaller event, more
Intimate.
and we wanted food. So we're like, fuck it, let's just set up the tacos there. And that's kind of where we didn't have a name. We just set it up.
Yeah.
And our friend Art, he tried the tacos and he thought it was great. And he's like, well, why aren't you guys doing this, right? That's what he
Right.
told
Yep.
you.
Yep.
And we're just like, I don't know. Why would we do this, you know?
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. And he wanted us to go and do his event, but we didn't have a name, I believe.
Right.
So we're kind of like, well, fuck, like, what do we call it? Like, we can't go with, my dad used to call his company, what was it, Hueros Tacos?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, we can't fucking take that. Like,
Yeah.
that's silly. So that's when we rebranded it to Wicked Tacos. Genius, right? And that's how it was born, guys. That's it. The end. Just
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty
Pretty
much,
much.
yeah.
Pretty much, dude. And now, very thankful to be able to do Ontario Convention Center.
honestly.
And all these other events that'll have us, another very fortunate and blessed opportunity. You know what I
Very
mean?
fun, I think. It gets fun for me because I don't get to work the taco booth much.
I was gonna say yeah.
So when I do though, I kind of get excited because I used to play this game on my phone where I'd have a fake diner and put orders out and make fake food.
Yeah.
And I always loved that game.
Well,
I'm
the
not a
next
video
time
game
you don't have
person.
to. You don't have to play the game.
I always
You can-
volunteer to go
you
to
can
the
get
taco
out there.
booth, and none of y'all ever want to stay inside by yourselves. All right, you guys stick me in there without even asking me.
Don't worry. Next time we'll figure it out.
And so when that happens, it kind of takes me back to child, like, oh my god, like order number 67, like, you know, until someone gets mad at you,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Yeah.
you're fuck.
I love it. I love when people get mad at me, and that's a toxic thing
Yeah, it
about
is.
me. Like, I want them to question me, and I want.
You don't wanna
it's
deal
so
with her.
bad. It's so bad. I like to make people. If I know you're wrong, you're gonna know that I know you're wrong, and that's terrible. And, I know that's terrible for customer service,
You know what I
dude.
mean? Some
Why is
people
she
ain't
even
gonna
for
bug
Dude.
us.
Why is she in the
That's
cash
why
register?
we
It's
have
not
to
all
step
the
in
time.
sometimes.
It's not all the time. I do it at my job now, and it's bad. But you know what's funny?
Jessica, can you come to the office,
No,
please?
my manager's just like, do it.
Please
She's
come to the
telling me
office.
to do it. You're hyping up the wrong one.
Well, in Jessica's defense, I do this every day for a living with the food industry. And there's an old saying, the customer's always right.
Yep.
Not in my book.
Mm.
They're not.
They're not.
The customer's always the customer.
Yes.
And the customer's always doing what's best for the customer.
Correct.
And sometimes
Look.
sometimes they make shit up.
Yes.
Let me tell you
Sometimes
something.
Let me
that's
tell you
your
something. Let me
blonde
tell you
hair
something.
and the food Susie.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
yours.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
When it comes to like yelling at like me, dad, us, that's fine. But when it comes to yelling at like our significant others, no.
Our helpers.
Our helpers, that's when I'm like, nope. And it's happened before
Oh,
where
yeah.
they yell at them and I will jump in. I will stop taking orders and I'll jump in and I'll be like, ma'am. if
I
you-"
know Jaleesa kind of got shooken up
Yeah,
last
she got-
event
she got
because
shooken
someone
up.
yelled at her or something, and
And I wasn't there.
she
and I
came
wish I was
inside and
there.
told me the story too, because she was like, you know, she was yelling at me or whoever it was, and
Yeah.
She was just upset. It was
She
an
don't
upset
even get
customer.
rattled. Jaleesa never gets rattled,
Yeah.
so it rattled her because she came in and took a break because she was like,
What are you?
Yeah.
I got yelled at.
Okay, that's different. She's, I guess you could say, an employee at that point. You can't really go off and say something negative. But as an owner, part owner, you could say whatever the hell you want. Because guess what? That's me all well.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Not
you know
even
what?
that. It,
As a person that runs restaurants, I've told people not to come back.
exactly.
I've comped their check and I said, with all due respect, please don't come back.
Yeah.
I don't want you as a customer.
Yeah.
I cannot make you happy. This is the third time you come in. It's the third time I had to comp your check. So either it's a game or you truly don't like our food.
Yeah.
Please don't come back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're costing me money.
Right.
Exactly. It's just like, it was just one of those things where they were just like yelling at her over the price. And it's just like, why are you? What?
Have you ever been to a convention?
Right.
And
Good
that
to
happened.
see.
That
Good
happened
thing
to
I'm
me
not
too.
there, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm
Good
like,
thing you would have been.
Meet me in
heated.
the fucking parking lot.
Yeah. And that,
Not this
that
parking
happened to
lot,
me
the one
too.
outside.
No,
I'm gonna whoop your ass.
There's a lot of times where it's just easier to resolve a solution before it even gets to
Yeah.
anything. You know?
yeah.
So
Here, have a soda.
yeah,
It
on
doesn't
me.
happen a lot, guys. It's like
Very rare.
super rare, and
pretty random.
It was like random, and
I mean,
it
it
was
happens
over.
too with us and inside. Like,
Yeah,
do you
People try to
do you have a
bargain.
deal if I take 5? No.
I'm like, yeah, they're all 15 each.
Or they try
That's
to
your
treat
deal.
you like a swap meet. You know, ain't
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with swap meet, but you know what I mean. Where
Yeah.
they're like, would you take 5? I just
No.
said it's $20. Why would I take $5 for that?
Yeah.
No, you know, like I made this.
When
Yeah.
it cost me more than 5. Why would I let you take it for 5?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
but
I think some of these events we need to post like, this event cost a vendor X amount of money to be here. Please don't try to
Yeah.
negotiate prices.
It's not, and again, it's not a lot. It's always
And yeah, some events, you know, it's alcohol's allowed, so you
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
fun time. You get to
Yeah.
deal with some people under the influence. Of,
Yeah.
you know,
that happens a lot.
and that's
Our
always
first year.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wicked Fest.
So,
Good
you
alcohol.
know, it doesn't happen a lot, and it's not like we're rude or anything, because at the end of the day, I'm not rude. I just have to show you that you're wrong. And I
Just
do.
kidding.
I literally turned the receipt on my handheld. Okay, it's all handheld, dude. We don't write anything down. And I
Yeah.
was like, let's go over this receipt together. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is how much? Plus taxes.
So get on my face.
So it's like, I understand the convention is expensive. It's been a while since we've actually been on that side of it, where
Yeah.
we pay to get in, we pay to do this. It's been a while, but at the same time,
Long time.
you know, we also have to pay to be there.
A lot.
But yeah.
And at the end of the day, we were still one of the cheapest food vendors. So
We try to be.
we try to be for sure, and it's just like you can't really. That's the price, you know. A lot of the food trucks don't even list their price, and then you're at the front, and they tell you your
$50?
total. You're like, what the hell did I order?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, you know. Like at the end of the day, that's just
So that's
comes with the territory.
That's the
Right.
evolution of Wicked Tacos.
That's the
and,
evolution.
We're
More
still,
to come.
Yeah.
So much more to come, guys. I think we're gonna get ready to wrap this up, but it's been a journey. It's been a long one. It's been a great one, and again, there's no sign of letting off and slowing down. For as far as the podcasting goes, guys, we're gonna definitely do some fun. Matter of fact, new mics just landed today for
Vlogging.
vlogging style stuff. Just landed today.
Andrew's no longer
Andy's
in
already
charge
got
of
them
them.
charged up. We'll be cutting a promo with them today. So it's gonna be fun. Wicked Tacos, so much good shit coming for that. Super. I'm hoping to have that for you guys by the middle to end of this year, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know what I mean? And what else? Wicked Boutique. And Wicked Boutique just has a lot of new fun stuff that's coming. And yeah, man, we just want to continue to grow, expand, and keep making it better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Come say hi at all the live events, and
Yeah,
make sure
definitely.
see you at Wicked Fest.
Yes, sir. Any last comments, questions, or concerns?
Just thank you for everyone that has been watching, listening. She's trying to figure out a bottle over here, which is hilarious.
What? Keep talking. I can't figure
No,
out
like
which way
Jess said,
this
dude,
goes.
thank you guys so much. It just means the world
Woo!
to us.
She gonna
100
hang that up.
episodes.
100 episodes, baby.
And,
5 years,
should I pull this-
100
Pull
episodes.
this forward a little bit so y'all.
Oh
can
yeah,
see it.
we're gonna get
Hold on.
sing happy birthday. I'm just kidding. That was
I wanna
actually
know-
pretty scary.
I want to know who's bigging that up.
Do you hear it? It's making noise in the fan because one landed up.
I had to
there.
do it. I spent $1.25 on that. Okay.
Here's our little cake. We got a
What
little
flavor is it? Marble.
marble. Oh, that was
Cake.
good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. So, anyways, guys,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We can't say it enough, man. To all of our vendors that have been on, to all the future vendors that are going to be on, and to everybody that listens and watches, and anybody who's ever bought anything from us, had our food, again, from
Thank
the
you
bottom
for-
of our hearts,
Yeah.
thank you,
for
man.
being part of the reason why we do this.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. Because without you guys, we would not be doing this, in all seriousness, man. Any last questions, comments? Nope.
Man.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, guys. I know it's going to be a little bit longer than normal, but please buckle down, enjoy it. And yeah, as always, we will see you on the next one.